Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Angel Velez, and Joe Dehls. And it's now episode 404. In this episode, we are going to give our week one predictions. It's the first NFL pick'em of the year. Last year, it was on Patreon, but this year, it will be on the main channel. And we're going to do some trivia content on the Patreon for you guys, so we didn't forget about Patreoners at all. And John is also joining us live in the studio. John, show your beautiful face right here, live.
I'm exhilarated for these picking picks because I'm gonna win the shit.
Exhilarated.
We kept track last year. We kept track of picks last year.
Santos kept track of the picks last year.
Who won?
That was one.
Oh shit! I forgot, man. I forgot, man.
Celtics won. You won. Pick
Big win. Big year.
It means the Jets gonna win this year.
Jets.
If this
or
is
Mets.
the Dehls year, this is the Jets year too.
One of them do.
Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately for you and Dehls, the year ends December 31st. Then starts 2025. Who knows whose year it is?
Could be mine. Could be yours.
Wait.
Maybe the Jets have a chance.
Wait, who's he rooting for?
That's a good question.
How many teams? We got the Eagles.
NFL?
If you're rooting for the Eagles, then it's not gonna be a year this year.
Oh,
We know that.
Eagles, Bills, Texans.
no Chicago.
Justin
I like
Fields
Chicago.
if he starts.
Okay. Chicago, I like Chicago. I wouldn't say rooting. I'm more like
The
a DJ
Texans
Moore fan.
are giving you your best chance at this being your year.
Right.
You know, I got the
Texans,
two-headed
team
goats
that,
right
the
here.
team that's in the hardest.
And I got Aaron
conference.
Rodgers right here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got a big chance. I'll say I got 60% chance this
Wait,
year.
you have Mahomes, 0 rings, never seen a ring in your lifetime.
Aaron
It's
Rodgers.
true.
What do you mean? I seen him
No,
win a ring.
no,
in my lifetime.
no. You have Green. You don't have Green Bay Aaron Rodgers. You have New York Jets.
The aura
Aaron
is in
Rodgers.
the Jets building now. though.
Hell no. You
Yes,
guys
it
have
is.
0 aura.
Whoa, we have aura.
That's crazy.
You have
Definitely
0 aura.
Sauce,
That's crazy.
Aura.
Garrett.
Garrett Wilson, aura.
You stop.
Brees Hall, aura. Well, respect Brees Hall.
Yeah. Don't be a
Ringless
casual.
aura. Ringless aura.
CJ Stroud, ringless.
Oh my God.
Josh
Year two.
Allen, ringless.
Year two.
Oh my
Better.
God.
Better than every quarterback the Jets have ever seen in their
How
lifetime.
many players on the Eagles right now are on that championship winning team now that
Uh,
Kelsey and
4 or
Fletcher are
5?
gone?
Brandon Graham's one of them.
Lane.
Brandon Lane. Was Jordan there? I think he was
My
there when we
Lotto?
lost. Yeah, I think he was there when we lost.
Yeah, he was definitely there when you lost.
Yeah, he was there when Hurts was there when we lost. A lot of guys were there when we lost because we went
You
there.
still got some championship pedigree still.
Yeah, I mean, we went.
No, I mean in the sense of the ones that won.
Yeah, but we went.
was too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, you
It
had.
wasn't that long.
No, it was like 2 years ago.
No, I was saying when you win. When you won.
Oh, you brother,
been
you're
longer
in the
for
mud.
me.
Yeah, you're in the mud
But
over
at
here.
least I saw it. I was there. I was alive, conscious.
We all have playoff teams on this side, you know. So
That's fair. I don't have one yet. I'm
Yeah,
very
you know,
optimistic.
so-
I'm hopeful one day I could be there with you guys.
I don't even hate the Jets. So God bless, Godspeed. Hope you,
You know I
guys-
love the Eagles.
Yeah, you do. Unfortunately, I hate that we have to because your buddy here just
I love
can't.
almost
He
every-
continues
It is what
to
it
hate.
is.
You know.
You
But
do love every
good
team.
luck on the Jets season. Good
Thank
luck.
you. I
hope you
appreciate
guys
it.
do well.
It's
you
been
know?
a while since we made the playoffs. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
hoping
10
it's
years.
going to be this year.
14.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
longer
longer.
than that.
It's 10.
Ooh,
Yeah.
damn.
We're due.
Man, I was in
So I've been trying to tell y'all, man.
elementary school,
I
middle
was
school.
in 8th grade.
No,
Sixth grade.
6.
Seventh.
That's 6.
20
Well,
graduated in
it was
2012.
2010, 2011, you know how that goes.
Yeah, a lot of things happened since then. Tebow
wasn't that
Mania
09, 010?
was the last time that the Jets were relevant.
No, because
The last time they made it was
I think
2010.
it was 7th grade, actually.
Yeah, I think it was the 10-11 season.
Yeah.
Dehls, I'm glad that you mentioned the Pick'em Championship because we have the Pick'em Championship right here. It's displayed. It's going to be displayed here all season long. Just as a reminder to all of us, what's at stake this year for NFL Pick'em? And Drew has set up the sleeper Pick'em that's going to keep track of all our picks. So Santos, thank you for the wonderful job you did last year. But this year, you don't got to do as much work. We're looking out for you.
Yeah, no, it should be a lot smoother. Shout out to Sleeper. I mean, they just put pressure on every other app. But we have that. We're going to track that. That'll be interesting. I'm going to lock in this year. I fell off towards the end of the year last year, so much to the point where we ended up tying /
I would have beat you if I didn't pick Chicago 6-7 weeks in a row. Yeah, I would have beat you.
But another question I have. We're not keeping that same belt. We're getting a different one.
New belt.
We could do one of two options. We could get a new belt or we could just change.
I'd
say
rather
new-
get
I
a
say
new
new
belt.
belt.
Let Dehls keep that belt he
Yeah,
wanted.
new belt. Get a new style, new vibe.
Because if I win, I don't want red. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure
Okay.
you don't want red. I'm sure you want like maybe orange.
That belt, no.
Belt's
I
tough.
want the pick-a-side belt, and the pick-a-side belt has to kind
I'd
of
prefer
be
like a
red.
different color.
What color do you want?
Blue. My favorite color is blue.
Is that pick a side?
But blue is red. I mean, excuse me, pick a side's red.
I don't really care about the pick side because it's my belt. I want a different color. You know what I'm saying?
This fucking guy.
You know?
Okay,
No
well,
brand
so
awareness
you
here.
want blue? You want blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a black belt would be tough.
Yeah. Oh, if we would have known it before, I think we could have adjusted.
Black with the
You're
red.
getting
That'd be tough.
somewhere.
But this
You're back.
belt already has 2024 on it, and it has Dell's names on it. So
That shit's tough.
it's gonna be hard to.
I was
just work
shocked
around
when I
that.
got that. I was not expecting to be that nice.
Dell's holding up.
Right,
the
hey,
Pick Side
wherever we got
Championship.
that from, come talk to us. Let's make something happen.
But you don't understand, Dell's. This entire offseason on the lead up to just the football season, that's all I've been thinking about. That championship belt.
Hope you're locked
I
in.
felt like last year was my chance for it to be on my shoulders. I felt it. I saw the packaging come in, and
felt the
I
package.
teared up a little bit because I said, this belt isn't mine. I said, this year, it's going to be unlike any other year. I'm coming for that championship, Dells,
Right.
and I'm coming to whoop your ass.
Damn.
That's what I'm coming to
How
do.
many games back were you last year? You remember?
respect that.
Huh?
Remember how many games back you were?
I wasn't down by a lot.
It wasn't a ton.
Especially if we count the playoffs, baby.
I don't know. I feel like the playoffs were probably pretty close.
We were close. Yeah, there
So
were
maybe
many
you got
games.
like a game.
I
here or
probably
there.
lost by about like 3 games.
That was my. I was
Yeah.
thinking that you had like 3-4.
Yeah.
Fell off. I was not good. I'll
He-
be better this year.
Drew picked the Dolphins to go undefeated in his picks.
That was a mistake. But
I picked the Eagles.
Riv, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Riv for the Bears. At first, he picked them in every
Picked them
game,
against the Chiefs, man. That shit
but
was
then
nuts.
when the Bears started actually playing
Yeah, it
well,
made no
he stopped
sense.
picking them.
Made no sense.
I jinxed them. That's just how I looked at it. Like I was jinxing them, and then when I stopped picking them, they started.
I think I
winning.
picked the Ravens every time.
It was definitely Chicago, Buffalo, and Philly. I picked them to
Philly.
win
I
every
stopped
game.
picking once they started looking
You
like
know
shit.
what? That reminds me. There was this dude that tweeted at us. I had to stop watching.
I did see that. But you guys suddenly now are all in on the Bears, but failed to give credit where credit was due in to Ryan Poles and what he was able to do in such a short amount of time. And there was a part of me that wanted to comment back to him saying, yeah, this, have fun. Appreciate you not watching anymore. It is what it is. If that's what you want to do, it's your prerogative. But if you actually watched last year, the Bears got so much love
They
this
did.
season. We gave them a lot of credit last year. If any podcast was on the way, it was ours.
And three of the 4 of us had them as a playoff team this year.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of respect for Chicago.
I
man.
don't know what he was saying.
chatting.
Like,
I'm just like, yo, bro, you typed out 2 tweets, 2 of them, 2
was
separate
3.
ones. Was it 3?
I thought it was 3. Yeah.
he went crazy, and I was just like, bro, like if you watch this, I was being delusional about the Bears for like the first 10 weeks of the season, bro.
Did none of us respond?
Nah, I saw it, but I kept it pushing.
I mean, listen,
If
it's
you want to be
just
fair, you want to be fair.
they are in a division that features 2 contenders. The contenders are going to get the bulk of the talking time when we preview that division. It's just is what it is.
No, I feel like we've talked a lot about Chicago.
They just
The
got
Bears
Caleb
have been-
Williams, man. What we can do? Not like we've been talking about them ever since they made that trade. We
Got
talked
a
about
Bears
them.
jersey in the studio.
Come on, man.
Bro said he still fucks with.
Listen, there's some teams we're not going to talk about. I hope we don't talk about the fucking Saints this year. Probably not going to talk about the Panthers a lot. Like, there's going to be teams we don't talk about.
Let's hope we talk about the Panthers because that means that good things follow.
Or bad things.
True.
Unfortunately, it's either or.
Deontay Johnson's going for
1200. All right.
Cool.
1,200. He couldn't. Adam Thielen had over a rack last
He did.
season.
Bro got like
Could have a
70% then the first 8 weeks,
Yeah.
too.
So now this year, we're going to be keeping tracks of our picks on Sleeper. We have to set a deadline for when our picks are finalized. Is it
Thursday Night Football.
this show?
Thursday Night Football.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we could do this.
This show
Yes.
should be. This show
Yeah.
is.
Because I feel as if, there's some times where Dell's was like, if he doesn't play, I got
I definitely
the
got a
Falcons.
couple of his W's.
Nah, but I think Santos.
He kept
9
track
out
of it.
10
He
times,
definitely
he
did.
not give Joel the benefit of the doubt.
And Sleeper
Sometimes
definitely-
it wasn't my favorite, too.
And Sleeper definitely allows you to change your pick right before the games too.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just have to set a deadline for us
I think
personally.
this
Like
is the deadline.
all of our shows are all our picks on these shows that we say, are they final or do we have room for
Whatever
changing
is
it?
on the graphic is final.
He's
Whatever's on the graphic.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's
after the
valid.
show, if some shit happens, like, hold up. Before that graphic goes up,
Your
but once
turn.
that graphic's out and about, that's
Graphic
live.
Can't you make a
some
setting?
Obvious, what's some like?
Oh yeah, like if
Aaron
fucking if a
Rodgers
quarterback
out.
goes down or something, I
Yeah.
think we could all agree we could make a pick.
What?
It's
Yeah,
a little
it
bit
is real.
close-
What,
hit
Drew,
too close to
does
home.
Sleeper have a setting where you can like
Lock.
set up the time to where the
It's
picks are
due by?
There was
finalized?
actually
I don't know.
no advanced setting that I can
Okay.
do for it. It was
Yeah.
just straight up
Okay.
make your
It's
pick.
probably just before kickoff. of each game, you know.
I can understand that. Now, John is also going to be participating in this pick'em with us.
Sir.
And he's going to be competing for the chance to win this Pick a Side championship.
John may be the lucky fuck because he's not going to be on the graphic. He can go and he can bob and weave and get whatever team he wants.
Nah,
he'll
John
say his picks are finalized tonight.
Yeah.
That's it.
No way.
I play the game the right way.
John can't even lie. So John's not a liar. So we'll easily catch him in the act.
Now, John, I want to flip the camera to you and I want you to talk because I want to ask you what holding up that Pick a Side championship at the end of the year will mean to you.
It would feed families.
That's it.
I honestly,
It would
I
go
didn't
down
want
the
more
pick a
than
side.
that.
John, you ever think about getting a fade?
I get fades all the time.
Oh, do you?
All the time.
Oh, my fault, bro. I ain't lock in. Your hair is long.
It is long.
You be getting on the sides? You
Shout
getting
out to Carlos,
faded?
cuts and shaves. Waldo, what's up?
Okay. I got lock in. I haven't
All
paid
the time.
attention.
Yeah, you damn right haven't.
My fault, bro.
He has
Yeah,
the
right.
bang going on.
Yeah, it's a
A
fact.
little bit.
Can't see the size of his head.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true
yeah.
for sure.
Really, you having fun over there?
It's nothing like when you think you get a fire cut all the time and somebody be like, yo, bro, you should get this. And then you tell them, wait,
swear to
bro,
God.
I've been getting the cut this whole
Hey,
time.
you got a nice head of hair, though, bro.
Oh, my
you, bro.
God.
For sure.
Now that we're
You
off,
got the
John,
wave going.
Riv, I want to ask you what it would mean for you to win that Pick a Side championship. And then you could go, Drew.
For me, it would just show that my football knowledge has improved. That's really the only goal that's been on my mind. You know, just walking in here, you know, starting to be on NFL shows. My whole goal was just continue to improve and gain the knowledge. You know, just continue to keep up with my fellow brothers. You know, the way I am in the NBA, trying to take that vibe and that talent to the NFL. So it's gonna mean the world to me. If I win this shit, oh, brothers, I'm gonna talk my shit for sure.
It'll be another day at the office. As simple as that.
Dehls,
Third place, by the way.
retaining this championship. What would it mean to you?
Going back to back, I mean, it just stamp what I already know.
You know, I'm gonna follow the Dehls blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go on FanDuel. I'm gonna go on DraftKings. Let's check the favorites real quick. All right, sounds good. I'm gonna come to the pick'ems and I'm gonna make shit pop.
Shit, easy that way. No sweat off my back. They were the favorites. Nah, I do because, I mean, most of the time we do these picks, right? You have, 16 games. Most of the time, like 12, 13 favorites you feel strong about. But every once in a while, you'll go through and you're like, I like all the favorites. You know something's wrong, right? So you got to
this week
find
is
them.
going to be a lot of those, a lot of funny ones.
I mean, this is week one. Week one, it's unpredictable. Anything can happen. There's going to be a lot of upsets. There were a lot of upsets last week one, for
Last year,
sure.
yeah.
Last year, week one.
No, not the Niners. Who am I thinking
Well, the
of?
Bengals lost to the Browns. That was an
I'm
upset.
thinking 2 years ago in the rain game.
Upset for
Bears
who?
Beat the Niners.
That's fact.
That was an upset for who?
The Bengals. Yeah, they were upset.
If you was real, you wouldn't know who was going to win that game. Somebody over here picked New England to beat the Philly. I just want to
covered
point
the
that
spread.
That shit
I
was
just
close.
wanna
I'm not
point
going to
that
lie.
out.
That
the
shit
spread.
was
Somebody
close.
over here picked New England.
You do know
really-
they covered the
and
spread.
really tried to believe they was
They
going to win
covered
that
the
game.
spread.
What if New
Did they
England
win?
beats,
They covered the spread.
Another team.
The Bengals this year?
That would be
Yeah.
nuts.
Happy
Hey,
week
listen.
1, 2022, baby.
That would be nuts.
Yo, there'd be such frauds.
There's going to be a lot of
New England,
upsets this
man.
week. I can already tell. And I'm hoping that I'm predicting some of these right. We'll see. Or one of you guys are predicting them right. So,
I'm looking at last year. Who was upset?
The Steelers, last year, never mind.
No, the
Steelers got
Steelers lost,
smoked.
yeah.
Yeah.
49ers
They whipped
really
your
did
ass.
smoke.
People
Tampa
thought
Bay
pick
won
in
in
2022.
Minnesota. That was probably upset. Minnesota
People
coming up
thought
playoffs.
Pittsburgh could win that game, though.
Who? John did?
No, probably. Yeah, against the Niners.
I did.
Did you pick Pittsburgh?
Maybe.
Whoa. I don't know.
You
Maybe I
probably
did.
did pick
Miami was
Pittsburgh.
probably underdog at LA. They won by
Okay,
2.
no, I think all of you guys picked against them.
I wonder. The Jets were probably favored because Rodgers, but
No, Buffalo was favored, brother.
Jets were home. I don't know. It was probably close.
I did pick the Jets
believe
in
you
that
did.
game, yeah. I did.
The Jets are probably the team I'm picking every week.
Yeah,
this
after
year.
Rodgers went down,
Yeah, the spread probably
Oh,
changed.
shit
but
at the
going to the game's
FanDuel
probably
price
like 2.5.
dropped
Yeah.
significantly.
oh my goodness. Well, hopefully we're in for an injury-riddled season.
Riddled.
For me.
What?
Injury free.
Injury-free, sorry.
Yeah, Riddled.
Yeah, my bad.
Knock on wood, bro.
Complete
Please stop.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. That'd be nuts. Okay, so let's get into these week one NFL picks with the first
Here
game
for fun,
of the
baby.
week. This is the opener. It's the Ravens versus the Chiefs. First game of the season. It's going to be airing tomorrow night. Where do we want to start?
I'll start us off. It's okay. Because last year, if you look,
If I'm not mistaken, opening day for Patrick Mahomes, he's 5-1. Last year was his first loss on opening day. And I look at it, and he's playing the Baltimore Ravens. And what was the main thing, or one of the main reasons why the Ravens ended up losing to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game? Do you know? It's that they didn't run the ball enough.
Zinger.
What did they do this offseason?
Tell me.
They brought in one of the greatest of all time.
Do you know his name?
McCain.
What a guy.
Now in the backfield, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, that is going to be the game plan. Run the offense through Derrick Henry. And now Lamar Jackson kind of can ease up a little bit. Of course, Lamar Jackson's still the best player on the offense. He is the offense. But now there's not so much of a stress on Lamar Jackson's back that every single game he needs to be a perfect version of himself, because now he has one of the elite running backs in football. I don't care how old Derrick Henry is. To the day he retires, he will not be washed in my eyes. I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens to win this game because they will learn from their mistakes. The Chiefs showed last season that even still, they didn't have Travis Kelce, to be fair to them, last year in their opener, or Chris Jones. They still have their guys, but in that AFC matchup in the championship game, it was still right down to the wire, and the Baltimore Ravens simply did not execute
I believe they'll learn from their mistakes, and they will upset the Kansas City Chiefs.
If you guys go on Sleeper, you click this little button in the bottom right.
It shows you who's not playing.
Shows you the injuries.
Yes.
Shows you who's questionable, doubtful, out. That's huge.
Put on everyone's neck.
Nah, that's huge. 'Cause remember last year.
So we should say right now who's going to be who's ruled
As
out
of right now.
We definitely should inform them.
Hollywood is out.
As of right now, facts.
Hollywood is out, Omenu is out, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out, and B.J. Thompson
And Matei.
and McCabe.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
Say the actual people that matters.
Kind of cool.
That's about all of them.
And honestly, it's pretty healthy considering for the Baltimore Ravens.
It's just Arthur Millette.
Facts. Millette is the only one.
Noticeable.
And then with the Chiefs, it's Hollywood and the Menahu.
Yeah, so we pretty much got a good ass game we're gonna get.
No lie.
Yes, sir. All right, am I up next?
You were talking next.
Shit, my bad. Well, you jumped in there, my fault, cousin. I got Baltimore too. Of course, you know I'm gonna go with Baltimore. This is gonna be another team I'll probably pick every single week. Kansas City being at home, probably the smart pick. You know they're favored for a reason. Patrick Mahomes, you
here
mentioned
he goes.
5-1 opening day, but I can't go against Lamar Jackson, man. I can't go against Derrick Henry.
No way.
No way, no how.
I think it's funny. Last year, no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce. I believe they were home against Detroit.
They were.
Ended up losing that game.
Yeah.
Detroit came out. It was a defensive game for the most part. We didn't see too much high-powered offense in that game. And then offense last year with the Chiefs, just even obviously no Kelce, but their receivers outside of Rashee Rice wasn't much. Now you have Xavier Worthy. Now you have Rashee Rice in year 2. You have Kelce, who probably is a little bit more healthy than what he was last year. You don't have Hollywood Brown, which does suck, but you do have Chris Jones. You have Trent McDuffie. You don't have Snead. So that's going to be a tricky thing. They're going to have to, adjust. They're home. And I think 5-1 speaks to the fact that 9 times out of 10, week 1, Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to get it done.
8.
So,
8 out of 10.
oh, I'm sorry. I was just throwing out a number, but yes, 8 out of 10, they've got it done. For me, I got the Chiefs, though. I think Mahomes, they're going to have a new high-powered offense. They're going to be able to throw the ball. And I think Chris Jones being there, Travis Kelce being there is going to show the difference between last year and this year. So I'm picking the Chiefs to win this one.
I feel like this game can go either way, and I do love the addition of Derrick Henry, and they should take advantage of a vulnerable Chiefs run defense. But in the same breath, this is the first game that the Ravens are without Mike McDonald. They lost multiple offensive linemen on the offensive line, and Lamar Jackson still is not the best against the blitz. That's one of the things that he's weaker at, and we know Spags loves to diagnose these weird-looking blitz concepts and just manufacturing pressures. Patrick Mahomes, man, 20 touchdowns, 1 interception, 120-plus passer rating, 5-1 opening day. And last year...
You have that memorized.
Yeah,
This guy's a
last year, they didn't have Chris Jones. They didn't have Travis Kelce. And if not Rashee Rice, if Kadarius Toney doesn't drop a pass that goes right into the hands of Brian Branch that he takes for a touchdown, the Chiefs win that opening game, even without 2 of their best players playing in that game. I just have struggled with the idea of picking the Ravens because I do love Derrick Henry, and I think he's going to add an element to this offense. But I just can't pick against Patrick Mahomes week 1 of the NFL season.
Not for a second I think you were ever taking
Ready
Never
to
thought
go.
in my mind.
Not
you
even
weren't
none
gonna
for a second.
ready to go.
We would have felt it. We would have understood.
No, listen, I just think the Chiefs right now, what I'm looking for, the number one thing is their secondary, because they lost L'Jarius Sneed, and I don't think they have the depth at the corner position to hold up against the more explosive pass offenses. But the Ravens don't have a lot of receivers that really threaten you.
Rashad Bateman is one of the best separators in the league last year.
Zay Flowers killed them in the AFC Championship game.
I know.
Too.
Shame he fumbled.
I know.
You mean Snead punched that shit out of his fucking
The
hand.
saddest I've felt watching a game with my own team.
Yeah, I mean, part of me, I'm going to leave with Mahomes. I'm picking the Chiefs in this game, but part of me does feel like if there's one moment for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to gain confidence heading into this season, it has to start with this game.
Yep.
They have to set the tone with this game, and they have to come out guns blazing. John, who are you going with?
I'm also going Kansas City. Roquan Smith's comments this week saying that the way to stop the Chiefs is by stopping the run and making them one-dimensional. One of the worst takes I've ever heard. Making Patrick Mahomes to the ball more is probably one of the toughest ways to beat Kansas City, but this should be a good game because Baltimore is as healthy as they're going to be, while the Chiefs are missing a couple of guys. You mentioned Omenihu as well as Hollywood Brown, but I think Kansas City should win this game and probably go over a score. I think they can really control this one.
What's that statement? It's trying to trick the Chiefs into thinking they're gonna go against the
no one to hold them, no one to fold them. Is that what you're looking for?
Type shit, yeah.
If I'm being honest,
actually, but we're here.
before that comment, I was taking the Ravens. Once I heard that comment, I said, yeah, Mahomes not
I
losing.
just don't believe you.
No,
for a second,
I saw that comment. I said, yeah, there's no way Mahomes heard that, and he's not gonna whoop the Ravens.
What if in the
tomorrow.
Chiefs mean room they're like, you know what, we gotta take away Rashad Bateman. Like, you don't know what they're saying.
No, I thought it was an idiotic comment. I understood.
Damn.
I understood.
No, it is an idiotic
I understood what Roquan was trying to say, but I mean, the
Roquan,
Chiefs
I don't think
don't.
you're an idiot, bro.
The Chiefs don't run
also don't think
the
you're
ball. Anyway, they're a
Oh, yeah,
pass-heavy
but-
team. So that comment, it was just unnecessary.
You see him?
Okay. You probably could beat my ass at none.
By far.
That's a dumb statement.
Yeah, it was. I didn't call him an idiot. I said that's an idiotic comment.
It is.
Usually idiots make idiotic comments.
Not really.
That's all I'm saying.
You're not an idiot. You've said some dumb shit in your life.
That's fair. But more
You
often
have
than not,
said some
comes from
bullshit
idiots.
in your life.
Every once in a while. 1 for 5, you know?
Because of this next game, we will not be filming a third podcast episode this week, at least in the studio. We will be going live after the Friday night game, the Packers and the Eagles, to recap the
watching it here?
Ravens, Chiefs,
I thought we
Eagles,
were.
Packers. When we could, it doesn't matter to me.
I really just hate this whole
Zoom shit.
StreamYard.
I thought we were doing this that Sunday.
That's what I thought.
I thought we
too.
were doing both.
I thought we
Yeah.
were doing both too.
So basically, the content idea for this week is Friday night, we're going live to recap the 2 games that happened. And then Sunday night, we're going to go live to recap all of the Sunday games, obviously. And that'll be in studio. So next game, Friday in Brazil, Packers versus Eagles. Technically a home game for the Eagles, but they
Eagles
don't have a
players don't
home
wanna
field
be there
advantage right
at
now.
all.
I don't think anyone wants to
Yeah.
be there.
I'm also going to take the underdog in this situation. I am taking Green Bay to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Say I'm underdog because right now they are the dogs in this current moment in time. But
How does that make you feel, Riv?
They're not really underdogs in this game, honestly.
What is it like? It's
I
probably like
feel
1 point,
more
2 points.
comfortable
There's
right
no
now
home
with the
field
Packers
advantage.
than I do with the Philadelphia Eagles.
At least right now in week 1, because there's so much questions that we do have to wait and see with the Philadelphia Eagles. How's their running game going to be? We know that's going to be awesome with Saquon Barkley. How is Jalen Hurts going to look in game 1? What are the Green Bay Packers defense going to scheme up? Are they going to blitz Jalen Hurts? Because we understand that that's been a deficiency of Jalen Hurts so far in his career. How's he going to look? That's going to be one of the main focuses for me in this upcoming game. But right now, I just feel a lot more confident in the Packers scoring on the Philadelphia Eagles. Not that the Eagles are going to struggle to score. I don't think
That'll be the case. But again, the
Eagles' defensive question are strongest.
right now than the Packers. For that reason, I'm leading the Pack.
I got Philly in this game. Can't go against my 2 guys I got this weekend, man. I got Jalen Hurts. I got
spoiled.
Lamar. I'm
Game
getting
1
very
and game
spoiled.
2.
And got the Jets on Monday night, all this prime time. I got Philly in this game. I think I like what you're doing, what you're looking for week 1. So I think what I'm looking for most for Philly, of course, Jalen Hurts. Just seeing how he operates in Kellen Moore's system. I'm seeing without Jason Kelsey, how much is he changing protections? How much is he audibling? How much is he making reads at the line of scrimmage? And also, what is their game plan around the goal line? Of course, the tush push has been the number one thing for them over these last 2-3 seasons with Jalen Hurts at the helm. I'm sure they're still going to use it a ton. but you just gave Saquon a ton of money, right? So how much do they switch up in those short yardage situations, going with the tush push instead of just giving the ball to Saquon Barkley in the backfield? Also interested to see how much they change up Smitty and A.J. Brown in the slot, because I think both those guys can eat in the slot. And what Kellen Moore's system has shown us is whoever is in that slot role primarily is going to be the guy getting those number one looks. Last season, early in the year, Smitty was getting a lot of them. Then we saw A.J. Brown middle of the year had that 6-7 game stretch. He was going 125 plus. So offensively, there's a lot of question marks about, exciting question marks, but things I'm curious about. Then the Packers, new defensive coordinator. How are they going to look? We've talked all offseason that they have the talent to be one of the better defenses in football, and they're getting a challenge right off the bat. This is going to be a top 5, top 6 offense with Jalen Hurts and these weapons. So we'll see real quick, how good this defense could be.
I'm looking at Sleeper right now, and Devin White is out.
Yep.
Bradbury's out, which that doesn't really matter that much. Isaiah Rodgers, questionable. And then on the Packers side, Romeo Doubs is questionable. You have Tucker Kraft, questionable. Carrington Valentine, questionable. Wilson, their linebacker, questionable. And Marshawn Lloyd, questionable.
So
and their rookie, Edrin Cooper, questionable too.
If you're questionable, you're playing.
Yeah, I'm kind of under that assumption right now.
So
I think Lloyd's going to
everybody
be out.
important
Oh,
is
he was
playing.
limited today. Maybe he will play.
That's kind of the assumption I'm going with. If they're questionable, they most likely are going to play. I think this game is going to create the biggest storylines after week 1, because if the Packers win, then it's the momentum that's carrying on from last season, and now the Packers become legit to everybody now after this statement game. And the Eagles in a loss, especially if you start seeing struggles from them, it now opens up a new can of worms, and you feel less confident about them moving forward based off how last season ended. And then if the opposite happens, you feel high about the Eagles and lower on the Packers. These two teams are brand new for the most part in what I'm looking for, because the Packers are implementing Josh Jacobs, and I think their rushing offense can be really good against a bad Eagles run defense. To this point, they haven't done anything to sway me to think it's going to be different. So I'm looking forward to see if this is a big Josh Jacobs game. I think he's an X factor in this game. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like we're going to get one or two outcomes. They are now going to play more physical. They're going to press more against these Eagles wide receivers. If you're pressing more, you now open up the ability to get beat down the field. So it could be something that early on, if the Packers corners and defensive backs are not ready for, the Eagles offense can really explode in this game. And on the other end, it's the Eagles' new defense with Fangio and the 2 hot shells. And I think that's going to limit some explosiveness from the Packers offense. But also this Eagles offense, like Saquon Barkley is a huge new piece to add into it. And for the last 2 years, the Eagles rushing offense has been primarily inside zone runs. And Saquon Barkley is used to much more variance in the run game. So it's how will the Eagles run the football? Will it be an entirely new system? And also Kellen Moore is not like Shane Steichen. He doesn't simplify his offense very much. It's a lot of full field reads. And Jalen Hurts, to this point, he hasn't been in this type of offense. So it's also looking for how well is he going to progress through all of his reads in this new offense. I still think there's going to be sprinkles of RPOs and some quick game stuff, but for the most part, Kellen Moore's offense is pretty complicated. So I look at the question marks with the Eagles that I have, and I'm with you, Drew. I'm picking the Packers in this game because the continuity from the Packers offense, I find it near impossible not to believe in coming off of last season, where the Eagles, everything feels brand new. You look at the talent and it jumps off the table, but you have to see it executed in this scheme. And this scheme still leaves a lot of question marks moving forward. And this game can answer some of those questions. But I'm going with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, you guys also said some good things. This is definitely a tone setter. Week 1, sure. Green Bay, Philly, two of the 5 best teams in the NFC. This are going to be 2 teams that are probably going to see each other down the road in the playoffs. For the Eagles, it's so much new things, like you mentioned. Nobody really talked about the defense, and I think that's what I'm primarily looking at. Yeah. I think offensively, there's going to be some wrinkles. There's going to be, you have so much talent. It's going to take time to kind of get it together. It's going to be interesting because your week 1 opponent is going to be a Green Bay defense, so you kind of have to get it together fast. But I think it's going to take some time regardless, implement Saquon and Kellen Moore's new system. Defensively, though, is what I'm looking at, because you have a relatively young-ass defense. Even on the line, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith and them linebackers. Then in the secondary, you got Cooper, you got Quinyon Mitchell. Like Slay is the one of the lone vet. Even Reed Blankenship is relatively young. So like you have a pretty young secondary and a pretty young defense sprinkled in with some vets. You know, we saw Fletcher Cox go, Jason Kelsey go, and those are two of the best vets the Phillies ever had. So it's gonna be, and then you got a new DC. So it's really just how fast can you break the new in against a Green Bay team like you mentioned that to end the year they won like 7 straight, went to the playoffs. They didn't really add any major new pieces for the most part. It's the same roster. The continuity is there. The talent is there. You know, they got a new DC. So it's really, can you break in the new? I think for me, like Philly is just so talented. I expect it to work, and I expect the offense to be just as great as it is coming out the gate. You know, I expect Jalen Hurts to improve. I expect A.J. Brown and Smitty to be used better. I expect Saquon. And I know we run primarily inside zone, but we've not had a talent as good as Saquon in the running back room since Shady. So I'm really excited about the Eagles' offense. I really think the offense has the ability to show out against this Green Bay defense. But for me, it's, can the Eagles defense get a stop? Because we can score as much as we want. And we've seen in those Washington games, we can score all fucking day. But if we can't get a stop, we're going to be in dogfights, and we're playing a much better quarterback in Jordan Love, who is clutch. He's shown that the last 7 weeks, and this offense could get going. So last 7 weeks. So, but for me, I got to ride with my boys, of course. Die-hard Philly fan. So I'm going to pick Eagles in this one.
You know, the defense we're looking for on both sides, the Packers and the Eagles. And the defense for both teams is going to determine whether or not these teams can have a high ceiling moving forward.
Yep.
Now, John, what's your pick for this game? And whenever we just finished, one of the last people talking, just go, John.
Awesome. My pick for this game is also going to be Green Bay, and I agree with what you guys laid out before with this Eagles team, that they have two new coordinators, and they're a team that has to find their identity on both sides of the ball. You know, Vic Fangio's defense is notorious to take time to gel, and I think for this Green Bay offense to have Matt LaFleur in the same system they've run for years now, it's going to be a rather seamless game for them, and I think they can really take advantage of this Eagles team on the ground. So I've got the Packers, and I think it'll be a decently high-scoring game, though.
I really am fascinated by this Packers-Eagles game, so I just want to get real quickly any X factors that you have for this particular game.
I said it on the last show. I'm really excited to see Christian Watson this year.
Yeah.
Christian Watson, we've been talking all season long about this wide receiver room. Who is it going to be? They're 4 or 5 deep. They got tight ends. They got running backs now. But Christian Watson, to me, with his size, his speed, his catch radius, he is the guy that stands out to me that could be a true X receiver for this team. He could be a guy that has 1,000 yards. And I said it last podcast. I double checked. He practiced every single day going back to OTAs in May. He has not missed a single practice. And that is huge news for him because we know all the soft tissue injuries that he's had throughout his career. When he's on the field, he's the most explosive receiver on this team, and it's not really close to me. So if he's able to stay healthy this season, I think he breaks out to be the wide receiver one.
If he stays healthy, this Green Bay wide receiving core can be fringe elite.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed was unbelievable.
So they got guys we like as 2s and 3s.
I don't disagree. Jaden's really good, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a 1.
8 touchdowns as a rookie is not easy.
One thing's for sure is that Jaden Reed is going to be one of the better slot receivers in the NFL for a while.
I can't disagree. And because you play slot, obviously, I'm not saying you don't know that. It doesn't mean that you can't be a 1 in this league. We see the cream of the crop go out there and play in the slot because you have mismatches. And Jaden Reed has proven he can get open. Jordan Love has proven he has a strong connection with him. He went through his phases. Early in the year, it was Romeo Doubs. Then we saw right before Christian Watson got hurt, it was Christian Watson. And then to close out the season, it was really the Jaden Reed show. If Christian Watson can stay healthy, we are talking about a potential elite wide receiver group with Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and that combination of Romeo Doubs, who has a strong connection with Jordan Love, especially when it comes to getting to the end zone, and potentially Dontavian Wicks, who can be their breakout player this year. X Factor, you mentioned Josh Jacobs. I'll go on the other side. Saquon Barkley. You mentioned how are they going to utilize him. That's what I'm most interested in seeing how they integrate him in this offense because he is an elite receiving option at the running back position. How are they going to use him in that fashion? Because they do have AJ. They do have Smith. There's going to be so much attention on him. Of course, you can't forget about Goddard. If you use that advantage if you use Saquon to your advantage in that regard, and then obviously he's an elite rusher in his own right, there's so many possibilities and so many different outcomes that we can see Saquon Barkley positively impact this Philadelphia Eagles offense. I really am excited to see how
They set the tone week 1 against a pretty respectable unit in Green Bay.
I got two. It's Cooper and Quinion. Like you looking at this offense in Green Bay with Matt LaFleur. You just mentioned it. They got Reed, they got Watson, they got Wicks, they got Romeo Doubs, they got Josh Jacobs, they got Jordan Love, right? Matt LaFleur is looking at this defense, probably looking at the secondary specifically. These are rookies. I can tear them apart. So you got that mindset coming in. As a rookie, day one, you have to make an impact. And specifically on this team, a team that wants to make the Super Bowl, a team that wants to make the NFC Championship. It starts week 1 in Brazil. Your 2 corners. Slay is still really good. He's up there in age. Bradbury is ass, but he is hurt, so he is not going to play. So now you two, as corner safety, like, are going to walk into a position and you kind of have to impact this game pretty fast and pretty on the hurry, and you're playing an elite play caller in Matt LaFleur. So for me, it's got to be Cooper and Quinion because I think Saquon is a good pick. He's a vet. I think he's been here enough. He has the type of talent. These two are pretty much essentially rookie unknown cornerbacks that are kind of walking into the fire against a pretty insane group of talent in the wide receiver room and then a great play caller.
I'm going to stay on the defensive side. I agree with the Christian Watson pick, though. And I'm going to bet anytime touchdown for Christian Watson on Friday, 100%. I just feel like an explosive play is going to happen. I don't know when, but that's what I'm going with this weekend. Defense side for the Packers, Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt. This is the first time in years that Kenny Clark is playing in a system that he just has to worry about putting his hand in the dirt and just going and filling up one gap. He was a top 5 defensive tackle before Joe Barry came in and adjusted the entire system.
And ruined him?
Nah, he didn't ruin him. Because Kenny Clark is still really good.
No, yeah, no.
But he's just not the same.
I'm trolling.
Yes. He just wasn't the same. And then
a strong way of putting it. Yeah,
Devontae Wyatt out of Georgia, this is the scheme that he played in. I mean, last year he was not playing in the scheme he was comfortable with. And last year he showed a lot of pass rushing chops. So Eagles interior offensive line that is not the same that it was last year because you had Jason Kelsey and now Cam Jurgens is taking over. You have Tyler Steen. They can really wreck havoc. I love Landon Dickerson. He's an all-pro.
And
There's no
on the
doubt.
same side, boy.
Now, the Eagles' offensive line is still going to be.
That's why I picked both of them. Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt. I think they have
Which one?
huge potential.
Kenny's on the right side. Or he's inside.
Well, this year Kenny Clark is playing nose tackle, so he's playing right above the center.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's his matchup.
So center here, right here.
Yes.
And then where's Wicks? This side.
Wicks.
I mean, Wyatt. I'm sorry. Where's Wyatt?
He's right next to him.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
So they're right. Cool.
Yes.
I was I have Watson as my X factor, but the interior of the line, Cam Jurgens slated to play center. I think Becton is starting at right guard.
Wow, okay.
I think he's listed as a starter on the depth chart. So making a position change, we know the injuries he's had. But listen,
Now he goes to Philly and now
Becton
he's elite.
probably
he get carried.
if you want to go anywhere if I'm going anywhere to be an elite offensive lineman, Philly's like number 1 spot I'm going to. But yeah, that's like you mentioned, it's a big adjustment for them.
Next game, the Panthers versus the Saints. Now, Drew, your boy Bryce Young, he got a lot of
I
prove
love the
this year.
walkaway games.
What's what is he going to prove? Is this going to be a win for him?
I don't know, to be quite frank with you.
Stand on it.
It's a tough defense.
It is a tough.
Allegedly.
Top 10 offense too.
Allegedly.
No, I thought you said offense. I'm sorry. Because allegedly they're the top 10 offense
Yeah.
from the comments.
Definitely not by EPA, but by offense.
I just
scoring,
know
yeah.
people who didn't watch this offense think, yeah, top 10.
Hell no. It was
That's
such an
one
ugly
of the
offense.
rare instances where I'm just like, all right, let's favor the advanced statistics.
It's like that when you was like Nurkic is at the bottom of the stat and shit. It's like,
Sabonis and Jokic
We were like,
the best defensive centers
it's like,
according
yeah,
to whatever
this stat
that
didn't
was.
move me.
So in my picks, I do have the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers to win this game. The one reason why I'm pretty uneasy about that pick is because it is, which is why I'm not overly.
I'm sorry, 12-1.
What is that?
12-1. It got worse. Houston and Cincinnati.
So
Bottom of the fifth.
it's going to see me off.
Yeah, it's
A put a position player to go. Okay, that would go.
got bad fast.
But going up against the Saints, division rival, really solid defense on the road. As I'm talking about it, I feel myself want to pick New Orleans. But at the same time, I think I am going to pick. I just don't. I want to wait 1 week, similar to what I'm doing with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm glad that I'm having this epiphany as we are recording. I'm okay to wait 1 week. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. But then we see how the offense of the of the Dave Canales-led group, of course, with Bryce Young, Deontay Johnson.
Of course, you do have Leggett.
Mingo.
But they're probably going to still utilize Adam Thielen a lot
They
more
should.
than maybe we would want. We would want as the fans, but
Obviously, Leggett going in there year one. I think Deontay Johnson will lead the team in targets without a doubt. But the key for me is to see how does this offense look against a very respectable defense in the New Orleans Saints. I'm taking New Orleans primarily because they are at home, and I think they'll have an easier time scoring against the Panthers defense than the Panthers will against New Orleans defense. For that reason, I'll lean New Orleans, but I feel as if they can still game plan and still have a successful, respectable showing against a very solid unit.
Is anybody here going to pick the Panthers?
I got New Orleans.
Saints.
What about you, John?
Go with the Panthers. Of course, questionable in this game. I feel like last year, Bryce Young's debut did not go well, had 2 interceptions over the middle of the field to Jesse Bates. I believe week 1 this year, Bryce Young turns it around with better weapons and more importantly, much better protection. This Panther teams can run the football a ton with Chuba Hubbard. It's something Dave Canales has preached dating back to his time with the Seahawks. And I've got the Panthers here with a little upset at.
Marshawn Lattimore was limited. The fact that you could just click on the player, see if they were limited, DNP,
they're putting their
huge.
foot on everyone else's.
Because going team by team last season was so annoying.
This game is
This and the Steelers and Falcons game were the 2 hardest for me to pick. I just needed. I'm gonna wait 1 week. I'm very optimistic about Bryce and the season that the Panthers can have.
So Ryan's not playing.
Ryan Ramczyk.
Yeah,
Saying?
He's out.
For the season.
He's done. Yeah, he's done. I mean, listen, I think what you said is sound. This is going to be a sluggish game. It's probably going to be a game that nobody watches until like the highlights come out. And it's going to be sluggish. You don't trust either offense, even though Dave Canales is heralded as a quarterback whisperer because of what he did with Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield. And he definitely deserves credit for that. I've spoken about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense was not good last year. They weren't. They were the least efficient rushing offense in football, and Canales ran the ball way too much. And on first and second down, they were one of the most inefficient offenses in the league. The only reason they made the playoffs and their offense was able to have some life was because on third down, which we also have to credit Canales for third down play calls too, Baker Mayfield was phenomenal on third down. That was the only down that he was a top 10 quarterback. He was absurdly efficient. If this Panthers team decides to run the ball and put Bryce Young in third and long, obvious situations where the defense is expecting a pass, I just don't think that favors him that much. But then again, Bryce Young's the first overall pick. I don't agree with the notion that you have to come in and treat this guy like a system quarterback, because you have to treat him as he can maybe have the potential to be a star and change your team and win games.
He does have certain attributes that he can do that. He's pretty great as a playmaker, getting outside the pocket, making plays happen. It's not out of the realm of possibility that we see him thrive in that. On third downs, though, again, if you had a high-level running back, I'm here. Chuba Hubbard has proven to be average. He is an average running back, and maybe I'm being kind. He got a lot of opportunity last season. It was relatively, it's probably better than Rashad White efficiency-wise.
Chuba Hubbard or Jerome Ford?
Jerome.
All right, so my fantasy.
Rashad White not even close in fact. But my point being, I don't know if you have the overwhelming talent in the backfield for that to be a constant, successful option.
No, you don't. And Dehls, you can go.
Dude. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, I think Bryce Young, the mindset of him being the number 1 overall pick comes with time. I think the confidence right now is still pretty low within him, maybe even the coaching staff. Of course, there's different coaching staff that picked him number 1, although this was an ownership pick more than anything. But I think that's something that comes with time. I wouldn't be comfortable if I was Dave Canales' offensive coaching staff just going out there and being like, here's everything. We're going to throw you in the fire. You know, shotgun every single play, and we're just going to let you do your thing. I still think, at least for the first few weeks of the season, treat him like a system quarterback. Try to get the run game going. The defense, you know, I think, shit, if it's Bryce Young or the defense, play through the defense as much as you can. You know, I am not sold on Bryce being a superstar quarterback. I don't think the Panthers are sold on it. So I wouldn't want to hurt his confidence even more by saying, like, we're going to give you the whole plate and you just got to go out there and kind of figure it out as you go.
Let me argue. The moves they've made this offseason, they are trying, or they at least showed to me they're investing.
Oh, yeah. Well, last year the situation was so bad, you had no other choice.
100%. But you go and you sign Robert Hunt to a $100 deal. You go and you trade for Deontay Johnson. You bring in an offensive-minded head coach in Dave Canales. They've at least, and also drafted Jonathan Brooks with an early draft pick as well. And Leggett, relatively day 2 pick. Bring in Leggett as they trade into the first round to bring in Xavier Leggett also. They have done a lot this offseason to at least try and show to the public we put in effort, unlike we did last.
Well, that's what you got to do, because you got to figure out if Bryce is good or not. If you would have walked out there with Adam Thielen as your wide receiver 1 again and Mingo's your 2, you're in a bad situation.
100% agree.
And the moves they did make this offseason with the offensive line showcases, to me, a team that wants to run the football. I mean, they signed 2 300-pound offensive linemen. I think they overpaid both of them because Damian Lewis was not good with the Seahawks. He was average.
Robert Hunt's very good.
Robert Hunt is good, but they paid him like a top of the line.
Yeah, paid $100 million for guards.
It felt like they had to overpay.
Yeah, like he's a good guard. They paid him like a top tier one, and I think that's why he was a little bit overpaid. I just want to see some life from this Panthers offense. I think Dave Canales can give them that. Maybe this team just has better personnel to run the football than the Buccaneers did last year. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I got the Saints winning for the sole fact that I think this defense is really damn good. And the X factor for me in this one is Chase Young. He's going to be lined up on Ike Ekwonu. Ekwonu has not lived up to his draft capital whatsoever. He's been a huge liability to Bryce Young's blind side. And Chase Young is not great. He's not elite, but he's very good. And with him, Granderson rotating on that side against a bad left tackle, I just think that the Saints are going to control the game with their defense, and that's why I'm picking.
Would you guys label Chase a bust?
Yeah. For where he was drafted, like he's not dog shit. Like he's been signing
His
teams.
rookie season was viral.
Yeah,
Injuries have.
he was highly touted prospect. So obviously went fucking top 3.
His rookie season was a move.
He was amazing his rookie season.
My X factor, Taysom Hill. Dennis Allen has been hyping this man up like he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. You have Kendre Miller on the IR. He went on the IR, I think, right? Jamal Williams is there, the backup running back. But Taysom Hill is probably going to get used, as we've seen in the past, in all different types of ways. But I have never seen any coach, honestly, no coach, talk up a player like Dennis Allen has with Taysom Hill this offseason.
Yeah, Kendre is on the IR.
I think my X factor would probably be Dave Canales. Just trying to figure out what he can do for Bryce Young. Can he make the situation easier? Can he ease his way into it? Bryce Young had probably one of the worst rookie years I've ever seen in my life, me personally. And being a relatively new football fan, that shit was ass. And the Panthers, they didn't do much to help him in that regard. They put out Adam Thielen, who's a 34-year-old wide receiver who, like you mentioned all the time in your fantasy. Shout out to Fantasy Reaction. He was elite in fantasy, but if you watched it in real life, it was not something you wanted to see. So just new coach. They fired their last year coach. New coach. Spotlight's on you. I know this is not your quarterback, but can you make this quarterback look better than what he did last year?
Basic for me to say that the X factor is Bryce Young. Like, it's that basic. You need him to
Play great.
Yeah.
The first round pick, the first overall pick on him.
Keep going.
Traded multiple first round.
Keep going.
DJ Moore.
Traded Caleb. Caleb, DJ Moore, just keep going.
You need
Caleb
to
is DJ
see
Moore.
him
Jesus
as a
Christ.
show
Chicago, their whole future.
Darnell Wright against the high level defense, that he can go up against high level defenses and perform regardless of the personnel and situation around him. It's year 2. And last year, I was very vocal that I was not a fan of, in the offseason, of the situation that he was going into. But this year, although not drastically better, it is better.
Marginally, yeah.
And they actually made minor improvements to at least put him in a situation where he's not dying out there every single Sunday. So I want to see what he can do against a high-level defense.
Cam Newton once said, there's a difference between game changers and game managers.
Facts.
And that's what you have to find out what Bryce is. And I think this game is going to give him some,
Does he
give
have
us
a middle
some
ground?
answers to that.
I wonder if he has like a middle ground.
What's Kyler Murray to you?
I think he called him a game
He's definitely
changer.
more of a game changer.
Game changer for sure.
I think he falls more in line with that. I know that we've been on this topic for a while. This is the last thing I'll say.
Panthers.
The New Orleans Saints, I don't know how they're going to consistently move the ball. That is the one, especially running the football, because I don't think Kamara is a good running back anymore. He's a good receiving back still, but he's not a good running back anymore. The offensive line is all over the place. It's an average to below average unit. You're praying that Fuaga is good on the left side. This is Fuaga's first time playing on the left side. This is Trevor Penning's first time playing on the right side because he was so bad on the left side, and I think he's a bust. He's a good run blocker. He's not a good pass blocker. He's a pretty terrible pass blocker. And these receivers, I like Chris Olave, I like Shaheed, but I don't think they have like enough juice offensively to really do things.
Olave was supposed to play on
Right
the
side.
but on the inside, correct? Or
I think he could have played both. I think
he had shorter arms, so there was a
that's facts.
projection for him to play guard, but he was an outstanding right tackle, and he was going to play right tackle in the league unless somebody shifted him, but the Saints drafted him, and they're playing him at the left side.
Also, Ramchick being injured also did.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Next game, the Vikings and Giants. And this game, to me, I thought was pretty tricky to predict.
50-50 in my
because on one hand,
My few homer picks.
it's easy to get excited about the Giants this year. The offensive line has improved.
Excited?
Don't you fucking dare.
Hey, I picked the Giants. To say I'm excited going into this year is a little bit too far.
Excited about is what he said.
The offensive line, Alamnor, John Runyon, Andrew Thomas, when healthy. This is at least an average unit to me now. Maybe it has that ceiling.
Andrew Thomas is scary.
But now the playmakers on the outside, this is the best that the... No, I think Wandell's good.
Jalen Hyatt, bro.
I think Malik Neighbors is good.
But Malik,
Yeah.
he gonna make the field open up for
No, of
all
course.
those guys.
Malik is
I
one.
really do believe the Giants have life going on for them on the offensive side of the ball. They have some playmakers out there that can
Singletary's
do
not a
things.
slouch either.
He's solid.
Yes.
So you have the Giants winning this game.
This is the thing. And on
Because you know
defense,
Minnesota got juice too. Like,
I understand.
Yeah,
And this is the thing. On defense, I just think about Dexter Lawrence going up against the Vikings interior offensive line. He's the biggest X factor in this game to me. He's so damn elite. Oh, no. I'll
don't forget
talk about
Brian
Brian
Burns. Yeah,
first.
don't
Yeah.
forget about Brian
listen,
Burns.
you came to terms on Aiden Hutchinson. Next, KT.
Aiden Hutchinson and KT just different tiers.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And
But
KT is he's
he gonna
average.
make a name for himself this
No,
season
no,
too.
no, no.
Average?
No. He's average.
How
He's
many
average.
average linebacker? How many average D linemen double-digit sacks?
What are the pressure numbers looking like?
They were pretty terrible. he
Yeah,
was
you
one of
said
the
it now.
bottom.
You
He
said
was one of the
big
bottom
pressure,
players in
yeah.
Huge
How
pressure,
many
guys.
average
Remember we went back and looked at all
Can
the
you
sacks?
name me an average
We
edge
definitely
rusher,
did
and I'll
do
tell
that.
you if KT is better than him or not? Like an average edge
Average,
rusher, just a bland guy.
An average edge rusher.
Baron Browning.
I think Baron Browning might be better than him,
I
bro.
love Baron Browning.
I'll be honest, and I don't think he's average.
I think thinking of an
he's good.
average edge rusher is kind of
Where
hard.
your head was at. You show me you know ball.
Nuts.
Like, do you think Chase Young is average?
No, he's above average.
I think
I still would give him the
average-ish.
benefit of the doubt.
He's pretty.
If
I'm gonna say KT at this point. And
No way. I'm not
Chase
taking
Young
KT over
is
Chase Young.
not better.
Here we go. Here we go. Lock in.
Nah.
I'm not gonna debate. No. I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, we don't got to debate the other dudes. We don't got to debate Brian Burns. We don't got to debate Dexter Lawrence. That's why I'm taking the Giants in this game. I think both offenses you have question marks about. What I'm excited to see, actually, I'm excited to see Brian Dable is taking over play call duties once again. Listen, a couple of years ago, Daniel Jones was that dude with those 15 touchdowns. He looked decent, won the playoff game, 22 total. My apologies, 15 passing.
But we don't talk about. Jalen had how many touchdowns last season?
Well, it says he had like 15 rushing.
Daniel Jones had
6.
7.
But that's why I'm taking them. The defensive line, I think, is going to be all over Sam Darnold. If you could pressure Sam Darnold, if you could get in his face, if you make him uncomfortable, he's going to have 2 or 3 turnovers. On the other side, you could say the same thing about Daniel Jones, but I do trust his pass rush and just his front 7 in general of the New York Giants more. And excited to see Malik Neighbors. Excited to see him on week 1. I don't think there's anybody on that Vikings team that's really going to be able to cover him one-on-one. So although I have my question marks about this offense for the New York Giants, I think Devin Singletary is an above average running back. I think Malik Neighbors is going to win one-on-one, but I really think the defense is going to carry them.
So now, Riv, I'll let you talk about the Vikings offense. I am picking the Vikings in this game, and the reason for that is because as much as I think the Giants' offensive personnel improved, week 1, Brian Flores, you're going up against a madman that is just going to diagnose so many blitz looks, so many different disguises.
Week 1, Brian Dable.
And I just don't trust Daniel Jones to maneuver through all of
said he's
that.
taking
They
over
lost
I don't
40-0
trust
last year.
Remember when the Giants beat the Titans on opening day against Mike Vrabel? Remember that? Madman?
That was so long.
I remember I picked the Giants to
Mike
beat the Cowboys
Vrabel.
last year, too, though. So.
did.
He's not the same defensive line that Flores is.
40-0.
No, yeah, but it's like the Vikings, they lost to Neil Hunter, but you added Grenard and Van Ginkel.
No, they made a decent-
They have
yeah.
2 edge rushers
For
that are
losing
really
Hunter,
good on the opposite sides. Dallas Turner is in a rotation. They signed Stephon Gilmore. They have a really damn good defense, and I just don't trust the Giants to consistently, or Daniel Jones to consistently play well against Brian Flores' defense. And now you could talk about the Vikings offense against the Giants defense.
Honestly, I picked the Vikings, but It's such a 50-50 turn because I feel like I love the coaching staff in Minnesota. I really do. I love the fact that their offense, if they had a better quarterback, would probably be the best offense in the league.
I thought you were here with Sam Darnold this
No, I think he's good. But I'm saying I like.
Last time he played the Giants, he beat them too.
Yeah, but Brian Burns, you just
that?
when was
It
that?
was a while ago. It was with the Jets.
You mentioned it though. Dex, Brian Burns, KT. The only thing for me is the Giants secondary. It's a little bit questionable. It's young.
Oh, it's McKinney.
You're, but here's the thing.
Tay Banks is him though.
He's going up again.
Who's
Never mind.
opposite of him?
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry.
TJ is not playing though, so that's definitely gonna. It's a kink in the armor.
Looks like Addison might play.
Questionable, so he probably
Yeah,
will
there's-
play.
there's chance.
Give me Minnesota though. I think Jettis, Addison is more than enough. I think Sam Darnold may see a couple blitzes, but I think the Vikings coaching staff will be able to scheme up something good, fast, quick, get the ball out of his hands, and just make good plays. I don't know how good their running game is gonna be, but I think the Giants defense is gonna perform well. I just think offensively, I think their whole scheme is gonna be on Malik Neighbors. He's that type of player. He's that good where day one the scheme is on trying to stop him. And I love Jalen Hyatt and Wandell. It's just Daniel Jones against the blitz. Daniel Jones panicking. I don't know, but I think both of these quarterbacks are susceptible to have a really bad game, honestly, against these defenses.
My boy Danny Dimes go out there and air the fuck out.
Listen, he might. You got Malik, but I got Minnesota in this one. I just trust, if it's not a lot, but I trust a little bit more of the star power in Minnesota. So I'll go with Minnesota.
Sam Darnold has played the Giants twice in his career. 2021 with the Panthers.
Jesus Christ.
He was 16 for 25, 112 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, 57.4 rating.
Damn.
Then he faced the Giants with the Jets in 2019. That's the game I'm referring to. 19 for 30, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 97.9 passer rating, 0
Who was
interception.
wide receiver on that game? Jermaine Kearse?
It might have been Brashad Perriman.
Shot Chosen?
It might have been him. John, do you think Sam Darnold is lighting up this Vikings defense?
The Giants defense, maybe. I got the Giants winning this game. Like it being home. I like Andrew Thomas being healthy, unlike the start of last year. He got hurt in that Cowboy game. But I just really like what the Giants can bring defensively. Brian Burns bring a lot more juice. And overall, I think Danny Dimes will have a better game and a much better start to this year than last season for sure.
Yeah, last year was 40-0, so.
What were you going to say, Drew?
Simple as this. Football Giants are winning. We're here.
This has an underrated storyline to it, this particular game, because the loser of this game is probably locked to get a top 5 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
I mean, shit, they could be a tiebreaker.
If the
for one of these
Vikings
picks.
lose to the Giants, the expectations for their entire season change drastically.
Unless the Giants defense cares.
I think if they're going to win games, that's how it's going to happen.
They have pretty solid front seven. It's the secondary outside of Tay Banks where you start to have your concerns.
For sure.
Did use draft capital on a corner this year, but at the same time, losing McKinney is a pretty big gut punch. But this offense, at least, yes, there is something to be excited about. It's Malik Neighbors and how he's going to open up
the field for guys like Wandell and Jalen Hyatt to take the top off.
Next game, the Patriots versus the Bengals. The Bengals home opener.
We can walk past.
We
this,
can
right?
walk past
Cincinnati.
Cincy.
Last season, we thought that we could walk past the Eagles and the Patriots.
It was
And the
It
Patriots
was
covered the
scary.
spread.
It was a good game.
It was definitely
Here's
scary.
the thing.
Wasn't Philly up the whole game?
Mac Jones had a better game than Jalen Hurts, too.
The
New England was
Patriots
also home.
may be worse than they were.
New England's on the
worse
road,
this season than they were last year.
100%. Especially week 1.
But I don't know what's going on over there. In
We scored 3.
This could be a close game.
I'll be honest.
all
This
I'm
is
saying.
They
great
win
for
this game
Cincy.
without Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why
We
it's great
should.
for Cincy, because week 1, Jamar, you don't know what's happening. It's kind of like a mini bye.
He can go in there and
You
just
know what I mean? He
trot
can,
out.
he can
Shit.
go out there and play
Teams going
50%.
for it.
Who cares?
Not asking for personal reasons.
Buck
He's
50.
going to okay.
If Jamar Chase does not play,
goes for a
Yeah,
buck.
I think he's
I
fine.
think what's Christian Gonzalez is playing.
yeah, no, the Patriots defense is really damn
A
good.
buck 50 is hilarious.
Yeah.
When the last time T did that?
I don't know.
And Ramondre Stevenson, he might go for a buffet.
Yeah, I think for this game, we're all going to pick the Bengals. I think I'm pretty sure, unless John is going to surprise
Bengals.
us.
Do it, John.
I got the Bengals.
You didn't
Yeah.
pop up, but yeah.
But we all have the Bengals. The one thing I'm looking forward to seeing in this game is, can they stop the run? I mean, we know the Patriots are going to try to run the ball over Ramondre. This is not a big test. Like, if the Bengals stop the run against the Patriots, we're not like, oh, this is a good unit.
No, but if Ramondre goes and bugs out
Yes,
against them, now
exactly.
we're
Step in the right direction.
Now it's something to worry about. So it's one of those games where even if you do the right things, you're not going to get the credit. But if you do the wrong things, we're going to look at that as a glaring hole.
Yeah.
So they have to prove themselves on defense again. The secondary has to come to play, the defensive line, those linebackers. But yes, I think the Bengals will win this game. We all do. Now, next game, moving forward, the Steelers versus the Falcons. This is as 50-50 game as you can
This is
get.
the hardest one by far for me.
Yeah.
I got Pittsburgh.
I respect. Fuck
Fuck
man,
yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck yeah.
I got Pittsburgh. Look. Kirk Cousins, first game back from injury.
Son of a bitch, man.
Offensive line is cool. You know what I'm saying? That Pittsburgh defense, though, one thing they do is when it's no pressure on them, they play like they're the best team in the league. That defense is elite. Offensively, don't know what I'm going to get. But Pittsburgh is one of those teams where as long as they keep the game ugly, they keep the game gritty, they can win that game. They have the discipline. They have the coaching. They can score 14 points and call it a day and get the W. I am excited to see how Atlanta defensively is able to get to the quarterback, because that was one of their problems. That was one of their weaknesses coming into this season. I really like their secondary. I hope that can blossom into something great, although the secondary is probably not going to have to do much in this game because we're not looking for nothing major in this passing game with Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh, I think, is going to be able to run the ball. And then as a defense, they'll be able to lock the fuck in. So I'll take Pittsburgh in my first upset of the week.
I think I'm following suit, man. I was gonna.
You've already been upset machine. Come on.
Nah, that's a fact.
Come on.
And I was leaning the Falcons all day long, but it's going to be hard for this Falcons team to score against this Pittsburgh defense. I do firmly believe that. I don't think it's going to be easy for Pittsburgh to score on the Falcons' defense. Although the Falcons' defense may not be all work.
It's going to be hard for them to score every week.
I just can't see this offense being good. It's going to be one of the worst things you can watch. I think you'd rather watch grass grow than watch the Steelers' offense. John, I love you. John, I love you. But the offense is going to fucking stink.
Yes.
I'm still going to go with the Steelers. It'll be a muddy. It's going to get muddy. Do firmly believe it.
I think the Steelers just know how to win those close-ass games, and it starts week.
Now, John, let's get John's input on
I wonder
this.
where John's going.
John, why are the Steelers winning?
You fire Matt Canada or no? Was it dog shit?
Oh, talk, because Mason.
But you don't have Mason Rudolph.
Look at Aaron shit.
I would have Mason Rudolph.
Shit, if you had Mason still be here, I would have you guys competing for him.
Listen, I've got Pittsburgh in this matchup. We got Cam Harrod going back to Atlanta. Arthur Smith, revenge game, I would say. I think this is where he starts to reestablish himself as one of the better offensive minds in football. When it comes to running the football, Najee Harris slimmed down this all season. In the outside zone rushing attack, I think he's poised for a big year. They declined that fifth-year option. But with no Jalen Warren, he's questionable. I think if he plays, he'll be limited. We have Cordell Patterson in the building now. We're going to see Patterson's offense move the football. And more importantly, TJ Watt's going to wreck shit up. I think that pass rush is going to get to Kirk Cousins. The Falcons have very good, their run blocking is very good, but their pass protection isn't as strong. And I think TJ, Highsmith, and Nick Herbig will have a big day. But a big notable for this matchup, no Isaac Seumalo, who was out for the first 4 weeks roughly. So a 7th-round pick, Spencer Anderson's going to be starting there at left guard. We'll have to see how that looks.
What's your final score prediction?
23-20 Pittsburgh.
That's a lot of points.
You scored 23.
Wait, I scored what? 23?
Light work.
How many times did you score 23 last year?
Please look that up.
Well, with Mason,
Maybe 4.
True.
What's the over and under? We'll say 4?
4?
Yeah.
Imagine if fucking 2 game.
This game is tough to pick. The Steelers, if they upset the Falcons, because I think if they do win, even though it is a good matchup for them,
6 times.
the expectations
Mason.
for the Falcons fall a little bit
4.
because you should be beating a team like the Steelers, even though John loves to say the Steelers play up to competition, which
They do.
You can argue that they do.
No,
I
they
guess.
do. Yes, there's
Yeah,
no
they
argument.
do. I
It's fact.
guess, yeah, they do. Who cares, man?
Beat the
We
Ravens twice. Beat Cincy. The Browns.
Beat everybody.
You know what always gives us a hard time, though? Fucking Jets. Own those guys.
we do. I will say this about this matchup in particular.
Lost them in the AFC Championship game, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
We did lose to them, yeah. Antonio Brown caught the first down that iced the game against us.
Should have won that game. We made a
Before
comeback.
AB was AB.
He wasn't even what he was
Hell
yet.
no.
I'm worried about certain things with the Falcons. I'm worried about Kirk Cousins' first game off that injury. That is one of my concerns. I am worried about the lack of depth in their receiving core. Kyle Pitts is questionable. I think maybe he might play.
He said he's good to go.
Yeah, thank God. Because if they don't have him, they are very thin. It's Drake London, Ray McLeod, and Darnell Mooney. And then defensively,
second name
this
first.
is where I kind of don't have any questions, though, and this is why I think the Falcons will win this game. The Falcons last year had one of the 5 best run defenses in football when you look at rush EPA and rush success rate allowed. This Falcons defense, one of the best at stopping the run. The Steelers have no playmakers on the outside that threaten me. I think if A.J. Terrell shadows George Pickens, you are fine with that matchup for the day and whatever else can happen. The Falcons, I believe, will be able to stop the Steelers on the ground. A.J. Terrell is still one of the better corners. Come on, respect.
I also watched a lot of teams go up against the Falcons last year and eat them up.
He was hurt. He was banged up last year.
Like one of the last weeks of the season, DJ Moore's first.
I mean,
I think DJ Moore is better than George Pickens.
By far. Like, it's not close.
Pickens is liable to
It's not even a conversation.
Pickens gonna get one.
The Falcons have an elite run defense. Their secondary is improved with Justin Simmons signing with them, and I think A.J. Terrell is still one of the better young corners in the league. This is just one of those matches where I don't think the Steelers will be able to score enough. I think they'll have to win this game by forcing mistakes on defense against the Falcons offense. But the thing is, I kind of am leaning towards the Falcons offense having a pretty good day. I understand that the Steelers have a lot of the juju's up with the Steelers. Yeah. I think this year it is up with the Steelers, but I think the Steelers have a damn good defense. We all know that they do. And I do believe that an X factor in this game, it's going to shock you guys, but I think it's Darnell Mooney. I think Drake London takes a lot of attention.
Ray over him. I thought he was ass.
I never said Ray. Wait, I did say Ray over. My bad. Yeah, my bad. Darnell's better than him. I think Darnell Mooney's an X factor in this game, and if Kyle Pitts is healthy, I think he'll have a good game as well. I just trust this Falcons offense, even with Kirk Cousins coming off that Achilles injury. I think if the Falcons can get some explosive runs from Bijan, if they can get some explosive pass plays, they should be able to win. I just don't trust Russell Wilson and how limited this offense becomes with him. Not that it wasn't limited last year with Kenny Pickett. It's just holding on to the ball, taking sacks. The one thing that Russ does do, he doesn't throw interceptions. He still takes care of the ball, but he's still taking a lot of negative plays. And I don't think they did enough at the receiver position to complement this offense.
Yeah, this game actually wasn't as difficult for me, at least, as what it seems for you guys. I got the Falcons winning this game. I think they're going to win a ton of regular season games. I'm excited to see Zach Robinson in this offense. You know, the new offensive coordinator coming over from LA. I think what we saw last year with Arthur Smith. Although, John, I wouldn't go as far to you say one of the better play callers in the NFL, but I do think Arthur Smith will do better as an offensive coordinator with a team that is very suited to his style, with Russell Wilson or maybe Justin Fields one day at quarterback, 2 running backs. You have 1 wide receiver and Pat Freiermuth at tight end. I think that system fits them, although there are some similarities with the Falcons. But adding Kirk Cousins, I understand the concerns you have coming off the torn Achilles, but I trust his offensive line. Although the Pittsburgh has one of the better pass rush duos in the league, maybe the best pass rush duo with Highsmith and TJ Watt. I know Kirk Cousins can get the ball out quick. I don't think he's going to make too many mistakes. And although the Steelers' defense is definitely better than the Falcons' defense, I don't think the Falcons' defense is bad by any means, right? This is a team that was a borderline top 10 defense in EPA last season. I think that, that's going to continue, bringing in Justin Simmons, bringing in Matt Judon, although not, the name I think is more valuable than his actual production. It's an upgrade over what they had last season, what they had going into this season. So I think Atlanta's winning a lot of regular season games. Had them as the 3rd seed in the NFC when we did our predictions last show. I think it starts off with a W against Pittsburgh. And
you can argue Raheem Morris is an upgrade at coordinator as well. And Grady Jarrett is healthy for this game too. So they have some 2 stalwarts in the defensive line with Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata, and Raheem Morris coming in as defense coordinator. Next game up. Oh, my bad. Yeah. But he's coaching the defense. He is a head coach, yes. Next game up, the Texans versus the Colts.
Tough game.
This wasn't a tough one for me. I feel very confident that the Houston Texans will go out there and win this game.
With all due respect to the Colts, if the Texans don't come into this game and fuck around, they're blowing them out.
Yeah, I agree.
Blowing them out?
That fucking last week 18 game
They got way better. They got way better from that.
They messed around in that game too, though.
Not really. Jonathan Taylor just kind of balled the fuck out.
They got way better from that.
They did get way better.
Way better
they
from
did
that.
Get way better.
They're liable to
the
beat the shit out.
Colts also now have AR.
We don't know if that's good.
Would you be surprised if this is a 10-point win?
You're hoping.
10-point win.
10-point win.
I think I could see a 10-point win for
30,
Houston.
31-21.
I don't think it's going to be 14-17, something like that. I don't think it's going to be a crazy blowout.
I don't think 14 is far off.
I mean, 10-14, I guess.
31-17. That's not a bad score prediction, truthfully.
I want to see
think
what the
Texans
spread
win
is
this
right
game.
now.
I do think they can score more points, though.
It's a shame that the Colts week 1 have to play this team. Although they are at home, I think week 1 having to
They
go
beat
to
them
the division
last
champs.
year.
Texans beat them last year.
No, Colts beat them last year early in the year.
They
I
did.
think the first 2 weeks they
did.
played Colts
First
Ravens.
game of the year.
They lost. No,
Just won the first
It was
2
Colts
3
Ravens
weeks.
first 2 weeks. I don't know which one it was, but Texans lost both of those games. No, it was Ravens first, then Colts. Texans lost both of those games.
Okay, so Vegas is the line is 2.5 for this game.
Texans favored.
It's a division game. Makes sense.
And they're on the
2.5.
road too.
Yeah, I think Texans can go in there and win by 2 scores. They have that type of talent. I think they should come out with that type of aggression. I think they should come out with that mentality. Like, we made all these moves. Let's come in here, put foot on their necks. But yeah, I got Houston. There's no doubt in my mind.
And it's not a
Will you ever
dig
not
on the
take
Colts
Houston
at
this
all.
year?
I think they play Buffalo this year.
That's the only one.
Yeah, that might be the other one.
What do you
What'd
got,
you say?
Dehls?
I already
got-
picked. I
you
got
got
the
They play
Texans.
Philly this year too.
I got the Texans. I'm excited. Listen, this is one game
Was that
that's
correct,
definitely
Drew?
going to be on that quad box. I need to see
that
Anthony
correct?
Richardson week 1. Need to see what he looks like. But Houston's just got too much talent. I wish the Colts had a little bit of an easier start. Maybe they could get some momentum.
Now, lock in, they are.
But again, last year, they surprised. They beat Houston.
Was it a surprise at the time?
Maybe. They were home. I don't know. It's probably pick 'em game type shit. But
Who was it? Houston home that game?
no. The Colts are home pretty
They're
sure.
home again.
It's going to be a great game.
I'm taking the Texans, but I'm definitely looking forward to watching the Shane Steichen offense with AR in it.
I'm excited to see AD Mitchell too. Really excited to see AD Mitchell.
I don't know about. There's so many mixed reports about it, which is why I can understand why you're excited to see him. But
Who Downs is playing? That's what I'm excited to see.
Is that confirmed?
Questionable, so I'm assuming.
Josh Downs is.
Because I know when he
he's
first
awesome.
when he first got hurt.
I don't know question.
When he
So
first
the
hurt,
Week
they thought he was
18
gonna
game,
miss
the
time.
Texans were up 14-3 on the Colts, and then
Shit
they
happened.
started messing around. And then the final score was 23-19. It was a very close game, but in the first half, they were definitely in full control of that game, and then I kind of feel like they put their foot off the gas. I think this is a contender, and the Colts, with all due respect, they just don't have the talent that the Texans have. The Texans secondary is better. The defensive line is better. Their linebackers with Azeez Al-Shaair and Christian Harris, I think that's a toss-up, but I think they are better. The offensive line for the Colts is better, but the weapons for the Texans is better. The quarterback is better. And then the running back, the Colts have that as well. So I think the Colts, out of all these position group battles, they
Although
are better
Bogusuk is great.
maybe in 2.
Steichen probably is better.
No, yeah,
I
he is
agree.
better for sure. I think the Colts have 2 advantages in the position battles, but everything else goes to the
If
Texans.
it's a running back or
quite comfortably.
linebacker, that's it's the reason why you're underdogs.
John, what's your pick?
I've got Houston as well. I do worry a little bit for Anthony Richardson. First time playing since last September. I think there could be some rust he's shaken off, of course. And then with this Texans team, I expect them to hit the ground running this year. So it could be a high-scoring game. Could be a
Can't wait to
fun
nut.
game. But I've definitely got Houston.
Next game up
Per
is the
CJ Stroud TD, I might go crazy.
Cardinals versus the Bills. I put a tweet out earlier today.
Might be an
What's your
earthquake.
biggest upset for the week?
Why does
A
everybody think
lot
it's
of-
this one?
A lot of Cardinals versus Bills. They're picking the Cardinals to win this game. Anybody here picking the Cardinals from the look of Drew's face, it feels like he might be the one.
I didn't think about this
Oh.
one. To be
I
honest
feel
with
like this shouldn't be the number one upset
you. I
pick.
don't know
Like,
if this is a
It's just
spoiler.
it's
the-
in Buffalo.
It's probably the second biggest spread of the week. I'd
It is in
assume.
Buffalo,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
in
So-
Buffalo.
There
also
are
wanna
some
make sure.
X factors in this game I'm
sure.
looking forward to. Like, I think the Cardinals can run the ball very well against the Bills. Trey McBride against this weak Bills linebacking core. I think he can have
Marvin
an
Harris
awesome
versus
game.
Razul Douglas is going to be fun.
And people don't talk about it enough because Marvin Harrison Jr. is a great wide receiver prospect, and I think he'll be a great receiver. But at least in his rookie season, I would not be surprised if Trey McBride leads this team in receiving yards. I think
yeah.
he's that good.
Receiving yards.
We think
It's
Marvin's going to have
possible.
like 12,
I think
1300.
Marvin can do it.
Trey, heart of my soul, leading receiving yards is going to be.
I think he can cement himself as a legitimate top 3 tight end after this year.
He can still do that. While
Maybe
Marvin
top
Harrison
2.
goes
Shit,
for
I was gonna
12.
say he leads the team in
He
receiving
can.
yards. He's probably
I think
top 2.
Trey McBride can legitimize himself as once Travis Kelce retires. That's the number 1 guy we're putting
Ooh.
up.
Oh,
We're putting him
that
over Kittle?
Laporta.
I feel Laporta. Kittle's. I respect Laporta. High double digit.
I don't still
Yes.
do.
Just 1,000 yards receiving also. I think Trey is in that conversation with Laporta, though. But like signed and sealed, I can't say.
If the Bills were going up against a tougher defense like Steelers, for example, where they could really muck it up, I could see the world where Josh Allen first game with all these new weapons. Then I could see where the upset goes to. But the Cardinals, who are going to be an offensive team, right? If the games they win, it's going to be on the back of Kyler Murray in this offense. The defense, although I think we're expecting to be better, Jonathan Gannon being a defensive-minded head coach, we're expecting to take a leap, although it's not like the talent drastically got better. It's not going to be good enough to slow down Josh Allen. So this isn't the upset.
James Cook is going to do to the Cardinals defense.
I mean, there'll probably be a fucking 30 at halftime. So,
Bro, if you want, I was bored, and I ended up watching the top 100 fantasy performances of last season. Do you know how many times I saw the Arizona Cardinals on there?
probably saw the Cardinals a lot. Probably saw the Commanders a lot.
That's why I said the Falcons. I saw the Falcons a good amount of times too, which is shocking, but that's ended up what it ended up being. What James Cook is going to do to the Arizona Cardinals defense is going to be laughable. It's going to set the tone. It's going to be an amazing rushing season for not just him, but just the Buffalo Bills in general. The Arizona Cardinals defense is going to be in competition for the worst in the league once again. I am super excited to watch this offense work against the Buffalo Bills because the Buffalo Bills defense is most definitely a respectable unit. But if you can go out there in week one, go ahead and Kyler Murray goes and puts on a show. Marv goes and he does his thing against Roswell Douglas. If Trigger Trade goes out there and I'm anticipating him to ball out. James Conner's been one of the sneaky, most efficient running backs for a majority of his career, truthfully. It's just been a matter of him staying healthy. I'm super excited for this.
Because there's a lot that I'm looking forward to. But regardless, it's the Buffalo Bills.
The Cardinals last year played the most quarters of any team in the NFL. What?
Trailing or
no, just in general, they played the most
They
quarters.
play like 3 overtime games with them.
No, I'm saying quarters.
Oh,
defense.
quarters
Quarters
coverage.
defense. Sorry,
I was like,
Yeah.
Fucked me too. I ain't gonna lie.
They played the most quarters coverage. They were just trying to limit as many explosive plays as possible, and it still didn't work out. The Bills this year might have a game on offense where we say that's why they need another guy. That losing Stephon Diggs hurts. It's not going to be this game. I like Kincaid, but it's not going to be this game. This is not going to be the game where we are worried about the Bills' offense. If they do struggle, then we will be worried about them. I think the Bills should comfortably win. Riv, you're picking the Bills. John, I'm assuming you're picking the Bills too?
Yeah, I'm expecting. Oh, I was muted there. I'm expecting a beat down here. I think Josh Allen could have an absolute field day, and I like this Cardinals offense a lot, but this could look maybe similar to what it was 2 years ago with the Rams versus the Bills.
Next game up, upset of the week. I'm picking the Titans over the Bears. Week 1, I'm going with Tennessee.
It's not a bad pick.
It's not terrible.
No,
It's not a bad pick.
That's my upset of the week.
This one was
It's
difficult.
actually a good ass game.
it is a great game. This is the game to me that whoever wins, the tides really start moving. If Tennessee's able to go into Chicago after all the hype they have with Caleb, the defense ended last season, the weapons they got, if they're able to go in Chicago and win that game, people are going to start talking about them. We're assuming if that happens, Will Levis probably has at least a decent game, right? He's not throwing 3 interceptions, taking 5 sacks. On the other hand, if the Bears come out and beat a respectable Titans team who, over the course of this offseason, probably added some of the most talent in the NFL, just, bar for bar, player for player, with all the additions they made offensively and defensively, all of the money they've given out, the head coaching change. This is the game to me that whoever wins, it's going to be one of the talking points. Obviously, it's not going to be the headline like the Packers and Eagles and shit like that. But in terms of like that wild card stand in the AFC and the NFC, because these are both teams that I think a lot of people are high on going into this season, potentially breaking out, both quarterbacks potentially breaking out. I got Chicago in this game. I need to still wait and see with Will Levis. I still need to wait and see with Tennessee. The fact that they are home definitely is a bit of a tiebreaker for me. If it was in Tennessee, I might be leaning that way. But I'm really excited to see Caleb, man. The whole world is, but I can't wait.
I got this stat for y'all. Maybe it changes or sways your opinion. Maybe it just reinforces something. Quarterbacks drafted number 1 overall are 0-14-1 in their first start since 2002.
None of them are Caleb.
I'm also going to be transparent. Nobody has had a situation as great as Caleb.
That's a good point.
This
team is good, yeah.
As great as a situation as a number 1 overall pick can go to. I look at this Bears defense. It is going to make it extremely difficult on Will Levis and company. Especially now I have DeAndre Hopkins out there and Calvin Ridley's going to be the one going up against Jalen Johnson. Not an ideal matchup if you're the Tennessee Titans. We saw how good that Bears defense was towards the back end of last season. It will carry over into this game, into the rest of the season. But this offense, I trust a lot. even though I'm very high on the moves that Tennessee Titans did make on the defensive side of the ball, especially addressing the secondary. We've talked about it a ton. L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie. Bringing in those two guys definitely going to help the situation out a ton. I still think I trust Chicago team as a whole, both on the defensive and offensive side as opposed to Tennessee.
This is it's an interesting conversation because I don't think either team you can say you trust one more than the other. You know, you're walking into a situation where you've got the fresh new kid on the block in Caleb Williams, you know, the quarterback phenom, somebody who's supposed to change the landscape of the league. And then you got the gunslinging Will Levis, you know, somebody who showed a lot of wow last year, but for the most part, is pretty inefficient as a passer. You know, they go into this offseason, Tennessee totally reloads this team, brings a lot of guys on the defensive end, brings some solid dudes on offense. And then with Chicago, they brought in Keenan Allen. You know, they got a little bit better in the draft. You know, they brought in some pieces too. Yeah, like they just, well, I wasn't counting Caleb. Yeah, so these are two teams who are trying to make a name for themselves. These two quarterbacks who are trying to make a name for themselves. And I was watching, it was a quote or like a video with L'Jarius Sneed talking about just Mahomes and talking about how different he is and how nobody can compare to him. And he's about to play against a guy who's being compared to him. So I thought that was interesting. I got Chicago. I think just what we saw from them last year as a team, if you put a good quarterback in that situation, they become a pretty good team, even last year. And I think they've gotten better from last year. I think defensively they'll be a lot more sound. They had a lot of young players in the secondary that lacked a little bit of discipline, that had a lot of flags turning. They was a little bit too aggressive. I think they'll be better. You know, I think the pass rush is still a little sketchy, but I think offensively, DJ, Rome, Keenan Allen, I think the run defense is going to be good. This Chicago offense is going to be probably top 12, top 10 in the league. As for Tennessee, Will Levis is still unknown. You know, DeAndre Hopkins is getting up there in age. Calvin Ridley had 1,000 yards, but it wasn't a great 1,000 yards, you know, so that team is still sketchy. You did bring in Tony Pollard. You do have Tajay Spears. Offensive line is still in question. You lost Derrick Henry, who's still one of the best running backs in the league. So the Tennessee defense, I feel better about than their offense. With Chicago, I just feel better about both sides of the ball. So I pick Chicago to win this one.
Who you going with, John?
This was the toughest matchup for me to predict because I think the Titans secondary is maybe the biggest test that any rookie quarterback could face. But I did end up going with what I think is the better, more complete, more talented team. I just got a good feeling this Bears team can really get a strong start to the year with how many weapons they have, and the run game should still be super efficient to me, so I like Chicago still.
The reason I'm going with the Titans is because of their defense. I think they improved so much on the defense side of the ball. Will L'Jarius Sneed, Awuzie is a year removed from his ACL injury, and McCrary is one of the best nickel backs in the league. And then they also have depth behind those guys as well. Quandre Diggs comes in. Amani Hooker's a good safety. They traded for Ernest Jones. That defensive line is good. I think the Ernest Jones trade, to me, signals a defense that's going to be wildly aggressive. They're going to blitz a lot. And Caleb Williams, his first start ever going up against a team that is going to send that much pressure on him. That's why I kind of lean with the Titans and what they'll be able to do defensively.
Would that be a good thing for the Titans?
I think they can leave their secondary on islands for
You got three dudes that can win one-on-one.
But I only say that in the sense of
Also, we know how creative he is when he's getting outside the pocket. Like, we may see one of those situations where you're going to blitz him a lot.
now you're kind of playing
Gotta
to
contain.
his hands.
Well, you want to get him off platform.
No,
I mean, you don't want him to play within
absolutely
the
agree
system.
with that, but he has shown already, although
Preseason, of course, what we've seen from him in college, that he thrives.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there have been moments, but in the preseason, I think the Bears' offense looked very clunky, especially versus the Bills. They had multiple 3-and-outs. I look at the Titans and their defensive coordinator. There's 4 or 5 defenses now that have followed this Mike Macdonald defense. Mike Macdonald's new defense is going to take over the league at some point. It's already starting. The Titans defense coordinator is one of those guys coming from the tree. The Dolphins have somebody coming from that tree. The Ravens, of course. The Chargers with Jesse Minter coming from Michigan. And, of course, Mike Macdonald with the Seahawks. So there are 5 defenses, and these defenses thrive on creating havoc pre-snap so quarterbacks aren't able to diagnose things, and now post-snap they are scrambling. And this is going to be a huge test for Caleb, first game of the year. But what I can see going sideways for the Titans is, this Bears defense is aggressive. I think the only unit on the 3 levels that they have that's missing something is a defensive line. But their linebackers are sound. Their secondary sound. And if they can force turnovers against Will Levis, which is possible, they can win this game. Mm-hmm. But I just trust this Titans defense. I think their defense is... I know we're very high on the Titans. Well, I'm not going to say high. I know we're looking forward to the Titans offense to see the type of leap Will Levis takes. But I think this defense is going to be the main storyline for them this season if they do make any sort of noise. On to the next team. Yeah, he picked the Bears.
Okay. Who'd you pick?
Chicago.
Dope.
On to the next team, the Jaguars versus the Dolphins.
Oh, this is an easy pick for me.
This game, this week, I saw an injury report. The Dolphins have 13 players on an injury report. The Jaguars have 1. Half of the Dolphins injury report is veterans getting rest, like Teron Armstead. It's vet rest. That's the reason why. Jalen Phillips, it's injury management and also veteran rest. Kendall Fuller, it's veteran rest. They have a lot of questionables heading into this game.
Poyer is questionable. Jalen Moran is questionable. I'm expecting both of those guys to play.
I think what can wreck the game for the Dolphins is
they really got hella people.
The Jaguars' defensive line. I think Josh Hines-Allen and
Why'd you do that?
Josh Hines-Allen.
You've been calling him that fucking every day.
That's his last name now.
Yo.
Trayvon Walker. I think they're one of the better edge rushing duos. And then Eric Armstead in that middle. Aaron Brewer is one of the worst pass protecting centers in the NFL. The Dolphins' offensive line is still very much a question. Whenever I see a team go up against the Jaguars, what I look for is, can they pressure Trevor Lawrence? Can they do it effectively? I don't think the Dolphins are at that point right now because of Jalen Phillips coming back from his injury. I don't trust their defensive line to get consistent pressure on him. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a heck of a game. I'm going with the Jaguars in this game.
So from last episode to today, you have changed. So now the Jaguars getting over the Dolphins.
Maybe. We'll see the rest of the way.
That's be a big tiebreaker week 1.
Because that's why I say that.
Yeah.
You said
probably be around the same records.
Beat the Jaguars. So that's why I have the Dolphins.
You said that?
Over the Jaguars.
That's probably what's going to happen. Because I don't feel comfortable with 3 teams in the AFC East making the playoffs. I think one of those teams are going to miss it. Whether it's the Jets, Bills, or Dolphins, I think only 2 of those 3 will make the playoffs.
I have to respect the Bills because last year I didn't, and they ended up clutching the division. They are worse this year.
I mean, the Jaguars could beat the Bills too. They beat them last year.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. I just think in this game in particular, the Dolphins having defensive linemen coming off of an injury. Cam Robinson, when he played, the Jaguars were 7-1, if I'm not mistaken. When he didn't play, that's when they dropped off a cliff because they weren't able to protect Trevor Lawrence's blind side. I think this offense makes much more sense this year. And Ryan Nielsen, coming from Atlanta, he played a physical press style defense in Atlanta. Coming to Jacksonville, he brought in Ronald Darby to play that type of defense. Tyson Campbell, last year, he was hamstrung with a hamstring injury, but he is a really great corner. If they press these Dolphins receivers, it's going to throw off the timing of the offense. And if you get Tua into playmaking post 2.5 seconds mode, then that's where mistakes can happen. So I just don't trust the Dolphins' offensive line to hold up against this defensive line. And I think if they can throw off the timing and rhythm of this offense, they have an advantage.
I also don't think that these corners are going to be able to consistently stop Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle to the point where I'm worried about the Dolphins losing this game.
I think Dolphins pour 40
I'm going to try this season. I'm actively going to try not to pick the Dolphins every single week. But in this match,
better than me.
This is not one of those.
I am taking Miami Dolphins. I think that their offense simply will overpower the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. And I am concerned about Miami's offensive line. And I will be concerned about it all season long. But this is not the defense for me to be worried about their offense. I also am anticipating a lot of Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, seeing how those are going to be my 2 X factors in this game, seeing how they decide to go about their run game, because Raheem Mostert, there's not a lot of hype around him coming into this season. And last year, he did have 20 total touchdowns. All the hype's being put onto Devon, and rightfully so. The guy is one of the most explosive players in the NFL already, and he had the most yards per carry last year. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they go about their run game. On the defensive side of the ball for Miami, I can understand that, especially with Jalen Phillips still coming in, maybe a little bit rusty this season. No Bradley Chubb. Chop Robinson, his first game. I'm very excited to see him. He's been killing it in training camp and in preseason. I trust the Miami's defense to just withhold or to stop Jacksonville's offense enough because Miami's offense is going to be so explosive.
This is my lock of the week.
Oh, really?
This is my lock of the week.
Yeah, this is I like Miami secondary, honestly. Like I'm not even gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. I do like it when they're healthy and they're together. I'm very comfortable with who they have. Javon Holland. Yeah, I'm like, especially against, with all due respect to Christian Kirk, like he's dope. But like Brian Thomas, we have to see it. You know,
Kirk might have the best game.
No, Christian Kirk, as opposed to the whole everybody.
No, I'm talking about the Jaguars offense.
Oh no,
Kirk might have.
No,
the
I
best
agree.
game.
So I'm saying Kirk
He's
is
going
nice
up against Kader Kohu.
But I think
He's not good.
No, he's not good. But Brian Thomas, you still have to see it. Gabe Davis, I've watched him. He's okay.
You know who Gabe Davis.
Yeah, I know who Gabe Davis is as a man.
Big game Gabe.
I know who Gabe Davis. Yeah, I know who Gabe Davis is as a man.
It's a big game.
You know, so
What happened last time?
This ain't the playoffs against the Chiefs.
yeah,
man.
it really isn't. He really is one of those guys that's living off that one game. But I do think Miami pours 40 on them. I think this is what we fail to remember is week 1 to week 5, Miami is a different type of animal. They are home. This Jacksonville secondary, I am not comfortable with this matchup against Tyreek Hill, against Jalen Waddle. But I do think they'll be able to get to Tua at times, because that offensive line is questionable. But I think that secondary will be able to hold up. I don't know if they'll be able to get a ton of pressure on Trevor Lawrence. That offensive line in Jacksonville, we still have to see that work out. But this Miami offense, just in the run game, in the passing game, they're just going to be so effective. Week 1 in Miami, lights are going to be it's going to be viral. They're going to pour 40 on Jacksonville, maybe 30 to 35, but they're going to have a high-scoring game. And I don't think Jacksonville's offense will be able to keep up.
This is my lock of the week. Miami's winning this game.
That's your survivor pool pick?
Yeah, this is my survivor pool
Why
pick. It's
use
Miami.
the Dolphins on this?
I respect you.
Because there's going to be games later in the year where I'm probably not going to want to pick Miami. So I'll take Miami
You
now
pick
when
them
it's
against
early.
like the Patriots or something. you
Yeah,
know?
but the thing is everyone's going to go with the Bengals against the Patriots. And one of those weird things happened. All of a sudden, 80% of the people got one of their
You probably
strikes.
got me feeling like that with the Bills and the Cardinals because my survivor pool pick was the Bills.
Yeah.
I didn't pick for my survivor pool. I didn't pick any team that I feel like are flat out favorites at all because I want to save those.
Exactly, yeah, because the teams that are huge favorites,
Well, that's kind of why you do that. You get your big name out the way, but it's.
But if that big team loses, then you get a strike, and if you avoid that big team, you get a leg up.
But I don't know. It's week 1. These guys shouldn't fucking.
But I really don't think Miami loses. The first 2 months of the season, this is going to be the best offense in the league. This is going to be Tua putting up 300 yards.
really
This is
shocked if they
Tyreek
lose.
putting up 100. This is Watt putting up 100.
December
This was a December game. I don't know if I'm picking Miami, but week
hot either
one,
way.
week one of the best home field advantages, having Jacksonville out in the sun. Buffalo and Riv knows all about that. It's hell out there, man. It's probably going to be 95 degrees, 100% humidity out
The
there.
sun is beaming on the other
Grown-ass
side.
man.
Says the one who can't play in the cold.
But nah, I got Miami winning this game. The questions around their defense, the pass rush, the injuries, all of them are
It's just going to
valid.
matter later down the year.
They are definitely valid, and that's why I think the ceiling of this team is definitely limited when it comes to like talking about AFC Championship, Super Bowl, things like that. But in the month of September, in the month of October, tell me Miami's home at 1:00. Just chalk it up for a W.
I got Miami. I mean, I'm not going to try to overthink this one. Tua and these Dolphins are going to put up a bunch of points, but I do think Trevor Lawrence has a big day with a clean platform in the pocket, and I could see this still being a high-scoring game from both sides.
And in the preseason, Trevor Lawrence outplayed Tua Tagovailoa. Did you see Trevor Lawrence in the preseason? He played phenomenally against that Falcons third-string defense. Stop playing. The Broncos versus the Seahawks.
I really want to take the Broncos.
Take them.
Can we- this is another walk by?
Remember the last time they played? Upset of the year.
That was
Fucking
that
God.
That
was
shit ruined what.
And now they're way
that
better.
was
It was
that was a
beginning
sign.
of the
That was
It
a sign.
It
man.
literally, now they're way better.
I am tempted. I'm super.
I wouldn't be
tempted.
mad at you if you did. It's your team.
It is, but I honestly can see how.
You want to win this year, though.
I think the Seahawks should be heavily favored.
Yeah.
I would not say that they're a lock of
True.
the week for me.
Nah.
Remember what you said. You want to lock in and
That's
win.
why I'm leaving Broncos.
Oh, God.
And I will say they're far from a lock of the week, but this is easy to me. Mike McDonald disguises his defense against a rookie quarterback is a tall task, and the Broncos don't have the pass rush to consistently bother this Seahawks offense.
The Seahawks offensive line is not moving me to the point where I'm worried that Aaron Brown, Jonah Ellis in his rookie debut, go out there and you win Defensive Rookie of the Week. That would move the fuck out of me. But this offensive line is not good enough where
it's not bad enough to where I think they're getting overpowered by your defensive line.
Baron Browning breakout season.
Come on, listen. I like Baron Browning.
I don't think either unit, the pass rush of Seattle or the offensive, or you know what I'm saying, the opposite, pass rush of the Broncos, offensive line in Seattle.
I'm interested in really, really trying to trick my mind into taking Denver.
Kenneth Walker could have a big game this game.
Yeah. Kenneth Walker, I put him in my parlay for touchdown.
You saw PS2 got his money?
He did. Shout out to PS2.
Sauce is going to get 30.
Sauce might get 30.
Sauce is going to get 30, right?
He's due for a
better.
contract. I think next year he get extended.
He's on a championship team.
You guys won a championship? I didn't know.
You got to make the playoffs first.
He's on a championship team, I said. A team that has the potential to win championships.
If you're on a championship team, you have to win. I got the jits.
I will.
Brother, you're wasting too much. Seattle, come on.
Pick him.
You got to.
Come on. We have so much more to talk about. We have Detroit.
How about
we have the
we
Niners
get this?
game. Like,
if the Broncos win, what's going to happen? Like, what has to happen for them to win, in your opinion?
It's a great question. What has to happen for us to win? Javonte Williams goes out there and has himself a big game, especially 1 year removed after having a gruesome knee injury happen to him. It's looking like all signs are pointing to him being right back on track. I'm really excited for him and his 2024 campaign. But really what has to happen is Bo Nix has a clean game, goes for around 220, 250, game manages the hell out of this one, and we go out there and we win a tough one. I think our defense is definitely going to have a tough time going up against this unit because there's so much talent on it. But if we can go out there and we can get pressure on Geno Smith, make it tough on him, that is a route for us to go out there and win this game, especially because PS2 is going to be matched up with DK. That's a matchup that I definitely would not mind. As a Bronco, DK's great. PS2 is locking up whoever's number one it is, unless it's Devontae Adams. But even then, last season, I saw PS2 get the better of him. That's really because Aiden O'Connell was out there. And I love PS2 like a brother, but Devontae is Devontae. I can see that where that's the possibility. Our defense really goes and plays physical with these guys. Bo Nix is this one. Can we go out there and win a tough one? That's how it can end. But we'll be taking Seattle.
I wouldn't call you crazy if you took the Broncos. I will be taking Seattle too, but as I mentioned in the last show, I think the Broncos are going to be a scrappy team. You know, they're a team that I think everyone's projecting like around 4 wins, but not a hot take, but I think they could win like 6 games. I think they're going to be in most of these games just because the defense, I think, is getting disrespected, right? I think this is going to be an average level defense. It's not going to be, everyone just remembers the start of last season when they're lighting up 70 points to the Dolphins and it's historically terrible defense. But the second half of the year, they were able to turn around, did a complete 180 and be one of their, top 15, 16 defenses in the league towards the end of the year. And Sean Payton being able to pick his quarterback in Bo Nix, having his second year there in Denver to really establish himself in his system and having the quarterback that he thinks fits the system best. I'm most curious really to see who steps up out of this wide receiver 2 role for Denver. Sutton, I think, obvious number 1 there, but you got a lot of young, intriguing players in Marvin Mims here too, Troy Franklin, who you drafted in round 4 because you cut Tim Patrick. So I'm curious to see kind of who of those guys. I know Greg Dulcich has been getting a lot of hype.
Who's going to be my worst nightmare?
Josh
Reynolds.
Oh, Josh Reynolds. I was thinking of, who's the other dude? Junior.
Marvin Mims?
No. Is there a junior?
Not Vel made the
It would be
squad.
Marvin
Not Junior.
Mims.
Little Jordan Humphrey?
Lil Jordan Humphrey. Junior, Lil Jordan. That's who I was
That
thinking.
felt racist.
He's on the practice.
Lil Junior.
I mean, no.
There's no junior to his name, but I knew there was a little bit at the beginning or the end, and I thought it was the end with the
He's
junior.
probably going to be on the practice squad.
Word.
Marvin Mims Jr.
Marvin Mims, yeah. Listen, I thought he was going to be a factor last season, but he wasn't involved at all. He was mostly just a kick returner, punt returner. But I don't think you're crazy if you take the Broncos, but I do think Seattle wins this game.
I think he's crazy for taking Denver.
Johnny boy.
I didn't.
oh, okay, good.
This game definitely isn't a lock for Seattle. I think it's going to take some time for Mike McDonald's defense to marinate. Bunch were taking it on you. Fuck me.
I'm not talking. Keep talking,
No, I'm not
John.
talking. I'm not talking.
John, you have to learn that that's what we do.
Oh,
Lock in.
It's all
Said
good.
fuck me.
But I do think that this Seahawks offense is so explosive. They're going to be able to put up more points than this Broncos team because like your highline before, Dehls, as of the Cortland Sutton, I don't know who you can really count on to get first downs to this Broncos team.
Pixar me and clip that, man. Oh, fuck me.
Seahawks. Next game, the Raiders versus Chargers. Is 50-50 as it gets, I think. This is a 50-50 game.
Why?
I think the Raiders are a good team.
I picked the Raiders.
I hate the Raiders.
You picked the Raiders?
I did.
Okay, talk to me.
Upset as fuck. Oh, same way how you feel about the Saints. That's 100% how I feel about the Chargers. I just want.
Oh, you think they're just gonna fucking flame? They're Justin
hate-
Herbert.
Oh, okay.
No. It's more like how you just hate them. I just
Okay,
hate the
okay.
Chargers.
The win probability is 61% to 39%.
I'm definitely.
They're
part of that
I'm assuming they're
39%.
like 3-point favorites, 3.5 maybe.
I hate the Chargers and everything about them.
I do too. But
Well, you hate the Raiders
goddamn
too.
do I hate the Raiders.
Yeah, so
I'm picking the Chargers in this game. The X factor that I'm looking for: Joe Alt versus Max Crosby.
Oh, we're so here. I need
That's
Max Crosby to
a
have masterclass.
tremendous test.
Big test week
If
one.
Joe Alt can play well,
He won't.
we're talking about a Pro Bowl guy in year
I need
one.
Max
Talking
Crosby to
fucking
go in
all-pro.
there,
I
light
win,
that black a mile,
guarantee.
and lock the fuck in, and light that black a mile. Walk up in there, hit him with the my. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do what we do, and I allow him to say it. You can
Say
say,
what?
it, Max. Say it, Max. Say it. We're here with you. And he's in Compton. You know,
Max is gonna kill.
you feel me?
Max is gonna kill.
He's gonna kill anybody.
It does not matter.
Shout out to you, Matt.
I'm taking the Chargers here. I do believe that although the Raiders defense is a solid unit for sure, especially because I talked about this in my preview. When it came to their rush defense, that was their weakest link, and they went out there and they brought in Christian Wilkins, who's very good at stopping the run, but also on top of it, very good at getting to the quarterback. If there's one thing that they can do, it's get after the quarterback, and that's something that can be on the Raiders' favor, that they can go out there and win this game. But I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to trust Harbaugh in his debut with the Chargers as head coach. I'm going to trust the fact that Justin Herbert, even with a group of wide receivers that I may not love, especially as ones at this current moment in time, I think Josh Palmer is an excellent wide receiver 3, low-end wide receiver 2. We're going to see what Ladd McConkey is made of this season. But again, this is not a great matchup for their pass-off.
Going to be very interested, especially with their OC now blinking with his name. Todd, no.
Who's OC? Greg Roman.
Stars, thank you, Greg Roman. Greg Roman offense, obviously, you know, is very run-heavy. Very interested. I want to see J.K. Dobbins be the guy. I know Gus Edwards is probably going to be the guy that you trust right now going in because he's a lot healthier or has been a lot healthier. But I think J.K. Dobbins is the more talented of the two. Hopefully he gets his opportunity. He can go out there and show it. But I'm just going to go and trust that Harbaugh is going to be able to go out there and scheme against it.
Yeah, I think they split. I think Chargers win. They're at home this week, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yes.
But
Is it really a home game?
Probably more Vegas fans, but I'm really interested to see how Justin Herbert looks coming off this foot injury. He said he feels 100%, not on the injury report, but he missed damn near all of training camp, right? This was an injury that came up early August, right? He missed a lot of time. He was in a boot. So he said he's 100%. He said the mobility is fine, but it's a lot different when you're in the game getting chased by fucking Max Crosby, and you really got to put
Christian
all
Wilkins
of
is
that
there too
pressure.
now.
Christian Wilkins, that's a good point too, Riv. Got to put all that pressure on that foot, and that's probably going to be really the first time he didn't play in the preseason or anything like that, where he's really going to have to test it. So that's number one thing I'm looking for here. But I'm with Joel with the Chargers this season. I think they're going to be a borderline playoff team. Just bringing in Jim Harbaugh, like he has just shown time and time again, he goes to an organization, he's going to turn around. Now you're telling me he gets Justin Herbert, who we all think is a top 5 talent in the league. Defense, I think, still has some questions there, especially just with age concerns, injury concerns, guys that haven't played up to their standard in the last couple of seasons. But week 1, I think they come out with the W.
All eyes are on Jim Harbaugh, man. All eyes are on him. Like, coming here, day one. Some people at this round table think they can make the playoffs. You know, they think they
Something
can turn
come in
around.
last place.
Yes. Oh, who?
I don't know. You said how I feel about the Saints. I said last place for the Saints.
Oh, no, they're third place to me.
When do you think you'll be ready to agree with me or make the
24
decision on the bet,
hours.
the Steelers and the Chargers bet?
We can do it now. I'm
You
pretty.
know, John told me the Steelers are going 10-7.
Oh,
That's what he told me.
Calm shit.
He's calm shit.
I'm ready now. We can do it.
Okay.
We can do it.
Chargers for Steelers, more wins.
Yeah, we can do it.
Are we gonna lock in this Eagles bet ever?
We did.
Did we? We locked it in
think we
last
did,
week.
yeah. It was
10 and
25.
a half. 10 and a half wins.
Yeah, we took 11 plus.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty comfortable on Steelers and Chargers.
John, are the Raiders upsetting the Chargers?
Still got time, brother.
Yes, they're upsetting the Chargers.
We're fucking here, John.
I like this Los Angeles team. They
Say it with me, John. Wakanda forever.
fuck yeah.
Fuck you.
Listen, I think it's going to take the Chargers some weeks to really figure out a lot of their questions and holes. And for Vegas, I think they're going to continue to ride the hide, the wave that Antonio Pierce brought last year, and they're going to come into the Chargers' house, and they're going to start this year off 1-0.
They're gonna fuck them.
Revenge.
I think one thing that
better than
the
Ain't No
Raiders have over the Chargers is that because they added Christian Wilkins to their defensive line, I think this will be a great run defense.
Mhm.
This is going to be a game that the Chargers' passing offense is going to be tested, I think, a lot. And I do believe that Justin Herbert is able to carry the load regardless. And the Chargers' defense, I've been saying it, I think they're better than what people give them credit for. I think they will be better, way better than last year. And Christian Fulton, somebody who really struggled in Tennessee, I think he's going to have a breakout year for his standards and really solidify himself as a starting level corner.
All right.
Because in Tennessee, he was not that. He was not that at all. Next game up, the Cowboys versus the Browns.
And the Cowboys are underdogs.
On the road in Cleveland.
Makes sense.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Not bad.
I can't trust right now what is the unknown of Deshaun Watson.
Brother, you don't need to. They won 11 games.
A lot of those were with Joe Flacco.
Were
They went 5-1 with the unknown of
I love
Deshaun.
that
Like, what are you
stat.
talking about?
I struggled on this game, and Drew, I want to ask you these questions.
Talk to me.
You're taking the Cowboys.
I am.
No run game.
The Cowboys don't have a rushing offense.
Rico Dowdle, who knows?
Who knows is right.
What's going to happen when the Cowboys offense is forced to pass every play against this secondary?
That's okay. I watched that with the Houston Texans. And the Houston Texans went out there and dotted them up.
They're home.
I understand. And that's
Cleveland defense.
That's actually, you're cooking.
Cleveland's defense at home
And
is
especially
much different
Dallas
than on the road.
road.
Here we go.
Great.
Matt,
Yeah, let's think.
Myles
Let's think.
Garrett versus Tyler Guyton,
Hey,
rookie left tackle.
God bless. Don't want to show them more sending me.
Center
I
is
do.
also
Love
rookie
that.
Cooper Beebe. He's also a rookie. They have two rookies
Darius
starting on the
Smith's still
offensive
out there,
line. After the last episode, I told y'all that I told Dehls and Riv that I think it was actually after the Bleacher Report stream, one of those. I told them I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
yes.
But then I'm thinking about it, and I'm just thinking about the situations that they'll be put in. I'm like, okay, if the Cowboys can't run the ball, you're passing consistently in obvious pass situations against an elite pass defense. You're allowing Myles Garrett to just focus on rushing the passer against a rookie left tackle. And as high as I am on the Cowboys rookie offensive lineman, that it's just unreasonable for me to think that Guyton is going to hold up. And his big problem is something that Garrett can fully take advantage of. But then you're right. On the offense side of the ball, the Browns, you can't trust them either. Deshaun Watson can easily throw some interceptions. They're also dealing with injuries to their tackles of their own, and you have to worry about Micah Parsons. It's going to be a sluggish game, and I'm torn on this game the most. I am.
It's like, yeah, the Cowboys have Rico Dowdle. The Browns have step back three, Jerome Ford, who may be slightly better than Rico Dowdle. Fair, that's what you want to say, but it's not like these are two overwhelming rush offenses, and they're not, especially without Nick Chubb. You talk about their offensive line, that's fair, but I did watch Tyler Smith come in there, young guy, and go out there and ball last season. So it's unreasonable to just go out there a completely new guy and guide, but it just seems like Dallas just shits out great offensive line. It's just what they do.
Yeah.
I also trust that CeeDee Lamb's going to go out there, even though Denzel Ward is one of the cream of the crop at the corner position. It does not matter who CeeDee goes up against. Jake Ferguson, for that right, he's going to go out there and he's going to have himself a very respectable game. It's not going to be a matter of I just believe Dallas will outscore the Cleveland Browns offense. That's what it comes down to for me. This will be a pretty great game, but one of those 23-17 type of performances.
I think that's fair. That's the way, at least I view, if the Cowboys are going to win this game, it's you got to outscore them because you get into a defensive battle. I don't like my chances if I'm Dallas. I'm taking Cleveland in this game. I think it's going to be a tough game for Dak in this offense. When you have such an elite defense and you're going into an opponent, going into a matchup where you know what they want to do, right? My biggest issue with Dallas and why I don't think they're going to win the division is they're so fucking predictable. I understand they won a ton of games last year, kind of in the same circumstance, although the level of competition isn't quite what they're facing, at least week one against Cleveland. You're getting an elite defense with elite players at every single unit. Dak Prescott's going to throw this ball 40 times. CeeDee Lamb's probably going to get 15 of those targets. I like Jake Ferguson as a middle of the field type dude. Brandon Cooks at this point of his career, to me, is like a borderline wide receiver 3 more than like a real wide receiver 2. So, yeah, he was getting like 40 yards a game. You love touchdowns. Big touchdown.
Touchdowns and sacks.
You love touchdown guy.
Yeah.
Cleveland's defense is way, way too good to just get beat by one facet on offense.
On the road.
They were defensively on the road last year. They were dog shit.
You're right. Maybe they're cheating.
Could be.
Well, Dallas ain't shit on the road.
Banging
against
some
good
trash
teams.
cans.
I also think another thing that concerns me is CeeDee Lamb held out the entire offseason.
Does that matter?
It matters because there's a history of players that hold out and they don't perform as great as they did the year before. Like Josh Jacobs is a prime example of it last year.
CeeDee Lamb's so much better than Josh.
Well, he is, but Josh Jacobs was the leading rusher in the NFL.
Wide receiver.
I
And
think
then
it'll be a
dropped off.
fatigue thing, just game one. Like nothing crazy.
I don't think week 1 Dak or CeeDee have great games.
Yeah.
It's a really tough
CD,
matchup.
the whole offense, the whole defense is gonna zone in on just
But
CD.
Denzel Ward might not play, right?
He's not on the list like as questionable.
But listen,
like,
Dak
so
needs
he
his
might
bread.
play.
This is contract year. This is a great point to make a statement game. I think week 1 they play Cleveland. I believe week 2 they play Baltimore. So they have a really tough start to their schedule. Let me
That's
double
gruesome.
check.
They got Higgs questionable,
gruesome.
Conklin questionable.
No, I'm sorry. They play the Saints week 2.
Dalvin Tomlinson questionable. Everybody else.
Are you picking the underdogs, John?
I'm going to be going with the team that wins the turnover battle in this game. Now, my camera's gone, is what it is, but
You froze.
I'll tell you what. I think that Deshaun Watson last year, in the games that they won, he had 1 turnover or less in those games. The game that they lost to Pittsburgh had 3 turnovers, pick 6, fumble 6, play like shit. If Deshaun Watson takes care of the football, the Browns are winning this game. But I do trust Dak Prescott on a contract year to have a great regular season. I think that starts with this Browns defense as well. I really do believe the Cowboys offense is going to be overproductive. And if they're going to go on the road, they're going to win this game.
At first, I didn't know where he was going with it.
I didn't either.
Kinda
Now,
good.
John, to fix your camera, turn off the camera, then turn it on again.
Put in Rice.
Do you know how to do that or not? Because
Ron Bland is also not playing.
Yeah.
He's out.
Okay, and then go to the split screen. Let's get it fixed on air. Go to your double click on your source.
It's a nice picture.
And then go on USB video.
Damn, he's done this a few times. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
Are you back?
There
Okay,
he is.
thank God. Okay, so
Thank God is right.
John has the Cowboys. Riv, you got the Browns.
Of course.
Dehls, you got the Browns. Drew, you have the Cowboys. And back and forth on this.
You went last to give him every second.
Yeah, I really don't have a clear pick. I'll be honest.
Both teams can win this game.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys too. I'm gonna go. With
Yeah,
the
you might
Cowboys.
as well just go
Yeah.
with them.
On to the next game: Commanders versus Buccaneers.
Taking the Buccaneers. Although this can be an intriguing matchup, especially with the offensive side of the Commanders, seeing how
Terry looks with, of course, second overall pick, Jaden Daniels. How this just offense looks as a whole. Seeing how Brian Robinson will be utilized. Austin Eckler now gets involved into the action. Maybe he becomes a dump-off guy for Jaden Daniels. But in this matchup, how is Jaden Daniels going to live in the pocket? Is he going to be one of those guys that he's just getting out there and he's getting groovy with his legs? I can see that and making an impact in that regard too. But I'm just going to trust what the Buccaneers showed me last season, especially against this Commanders defense that is not going to be good this year. At least I'm not projected to be good as we stand right now. And Mike Evans is going to go out there and ball. Rashad White, he'll probably get into the end zone one way or another. But I just trust Tampa Bay's
being able to score a lot easier against a weak Commanders team. But excited to see Jaden Daniels play football.
I think there's a lot of room for the Buccaneers offense to just improve as a whole, as opposed to last year, because I really wasn't a big fan of it with how Dave Canales was so run heavy. And I think Liam Cohen coming from the Rams is going to add more variance to their runs and make Baker's life also a lot easier. The Buccaneers still have Mike Evans. They still have Chris Godwin. Jalen McMillan is a really damn good rookie who I'm excited to watch. And their defense lost some pieces, but you still have Todd Bowles calling that defensive unit. And Jaden Daniels had no reps in the preseason where he was pressured at all. And you're going up against a defensive coordinator who loves to send pressure at all times. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here. There's a weird world where I can also see that Jaden Daniels just like lights up these blitz packages because you have one-on-one matchups on the outside in their corners. The Bucs corners aren't that good, but I'm gonna trust the Bucs here. I got them winning this game.
I got the Bucs too.
I got the Bucs as well. This is a real, you guys mentioned, tough game for Jane Daniels week 1 to go into Tampa Bay, going up against Todd Bowles. I think especially too, Dan Quinn, defensive-minded head coach. But goddamn, this defense sucks, man. This defense is so bad. I think Baker's gonna have a great game. The receivers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan's a good call. I think he's the early obvious favorite for wide receiver 3 there. But yeah, I think they'll have success through the air with Tampa Bay going against that defense. And Jaden Daniels, I like the idea that Cliff is doing there. Get things out quick. Don't let him get under pressure. Build his confidence over time. But they're gonna get into 38s. They're gonna get into 39s, and that's where I have some real questions.
Who do you got? I did. I took the other end of the bump.
Pay attention.
I wasn't entirely sure, but really, I don't like the attitude there. Tampa Bay as well. Like, yeah, I said, better team, playing at home, Todd Bowles in pressure, but it's going to be a huge game to see how ready Jane Daniels is this early in the year.
Next game, the Rams at Lions.
There we go. Great
I
talks.
think
Let's
this
do it.
is the lock of the week.
Oh,
I'll
what's
be
your
honest,
lock?
That's not a crazy opinion.
Oh, well, I know you're not high in the
I'm
Rams,
taking
so.
the Lions also.
Just the Rams defense is not going to be good at
They'll
all.
fucking score. They'll score some points, man.
They're a well-coached team. You always got to respect that.
Got
Man.
Matt Stafford revenge game going back, double revenge,
storyline
Detroit
is there.
revenge for playoffs last year.
I think it's nuts that there's people that are actually predicting the Rams to win the NFC West. I think that's batshit crazy.
You don't
This
think Seattle
defense
is
is
just
not
as bad?
good.
Did Adam Rank, was it Adam Rank? That's the guy who predicted the Super Bowl like 5 years in a row who was going to win it. He has the Rams winning the division.
Was it? I thought it was Peter Schrager.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Apologize.
He had
Adam Rank
Peter
is-
Schrager had Rodgers win MVP and Jets as the 1 seed.
he did.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
He had a
Apologize.
bunch of crazy
He
playoff
had the
picks. I
Broncos
saw them.
making the
Yeah, I saw
playoffs.
that.
I
Yeah.
swear to God, he's one of the main reasons I almost took the Seahawks today. Or I almost took the Broncos against the Seahawks.
So yeah, this one of my locks. So I think the Lions. They're just a much better team.
Got
They're
some
just a much
hours.
better team.
Detroit's gonna come out and they're gonna do their thing. I feel like the revenge story, him and they already handled that when they beat him in the playoffs.
Let me also say, I still anticipate this Rams offense to go out there and put up points against the Lions.
Yeah.
defense.
I know the Lions defense is going to be a lot more improved than it was last season, or it's going to be improved off of last season with the additions they made to corner, bringing in DJ Reader also. But because their run defense was already really good last season, you go and you bring in DJ Reader, it's really going to take that next level. But you have Puka, Cooper Kupp. This is the best camp that he's had in a little bit. This is the most healthy he's been in a little bit of time also. Puka Nakua was coming in a little bit banged up. He seems to be 100% ready to go also. And Kyren Williams, this whole nonsense that he's a punter, he's a punt return specialist, and that's what's caused for Kyren Williams was one of the most efficient running backs in football last season. Also did it while being an elite pass catcher and was one of the league leaders in rushing yards and missed 4 games. Respect Kyren Williams for the love of God. He is not a normal running back. So I say that with all things said, I am still taking
The Detroit Lions to win this game, but it's going to be a good game.
I hope for a shootout. I do want a shootout pretty badly.
I think it'll be a shootout. It's probably the highest over under the week if I had to guess.
This is primetime Sunday night.
Sunday
Yeah,
night
it's
in
no rush.
Detroit.
Oh my God.
I got the Lions too though.
This is
Who you
like
got, John?
me and
It's hard to go up against Detroit and say they're not going to win this game at home. I really look at 2 things. I think this Rams passing offense can get a lot done against a young secondary in Detroit. But on the flip side, no Aaron Donald, I think this Detroit team can gash Los Angeles in the ground. I think that's how they're going to be at multiple scores early in this one.
you just give me the vibe of like one of the Robins, like Tim Drake, Dick Grayson. That's the vibe John gives me. Like he just gives me that.
Don't know what that shit means.
He's calling you a rock. He's calling you like Jalen.
It really is. Like you just give me that aura. Like
Is it because he's like in the corner type
Or
shit?
is it just
In
he
the
just
cut?
looks like the actor,
He does.
or looks like the character?
He just
Robin?
looks like he can
looks like
play
Robin.
like
What I
Robin.
like Tom Holland.
Low
He could definitely be
key.
Spider-Man.
He
He could definitely be
No, yeah.
Spider-Man.
Like the young, idiotic, stupid little kid Spider-Man. Yeah,
I got it for sure.
yeah.
In my
Definitely Tom.
survivor pool, the one that you sent to me, Drew, I didn't have the Lions as my lock. I actually had the Saints against the Panthers as my lock.
I thought about the Saints, truthfully.
I was just like, I don't know how many times I'm going to pick the Saints this year.
I
I,
get that.
think I
have
feel
my
comfortable.
mom in our survivor pool, and she goes,
Niners?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Now, the last
Here we
game,
go.
Monday Night Football, Jets at 49ers. And, man, I have been practicing all week long for how I'm going to feel for this game.
Just remember when you do this, you lose. You see my
Online-
walk, you lost.
Oh, shit.
Just let you know when you go on these little monologues, you don't win.
Online head-to-head today, this afternoon, I faced somebody who was using the Niners online. I used the Jets. 2 interceptions on Brock Purdy. easy money. That was like Breece Hall doing his thing, easy money. Aaron Rodgers doing his thing. Garrett Wilson doing his thing, easy money. This is going to be an easy game, man. The Jets are going to beat the brakes off the 49ers.
You were hopeful that Trent wasn't playing.
No, he was begging for it. He's begging for it.
We got sauce.
We don't need them to. They can play. They can sit out. It don't fucking matter.
They don't have an answer for Quentin Williams. Is Trent Williams going to play center? Is he going to guard Quentin Williams?
Imagine he could.
That's a good point.
Quentin Williams is going to dominate this game.
Really? And what's CMC going to do?
We got a great run defense.
It's Christian
CJ
McCaffrey. It truly does not matter who he goes up against. He's going to go out there and fucking blow.
I do think this will be an exciting game. Like the tale of how top heavy the Niners offense is versus how elite the Jets. Like this is a real elite versus elite, best defense in the league versus best offense in the league.
And Brock struggles against truly elite defenses, and this is what this Jets defense is.
What? What
about the Ravens?
Brock Purdy struggles against truly elite defenses.
What is truly elite?
Ravens.
Elite defenses.
Everybody struggled against Ravens.
The Browns.
Chiefs were elite.
The Browns people were. You make me sick.
What do you mean?
So we got no worries that Trent Williams, this is he's been in practice for like 3 days. Brandon Ayuk has been at camp all fucking time. CMC's coming off an injury.
Do you trust Trent Williams? Yes or no?
Say it again.
Do you trust Trent Williams? Yes or no?
I mean, he could be a little rusty.
No, I didn't ask you that.
Jermaine Johnson gonna get a sack on him.
Better question. If he was playing any other team, would you trust Trent Williams?
If he was going up against Jermaine Johnson, I wouldn't fucking trust him. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man.
I'm fucking that. No, yeah, I definitely have concerns over just fatigue. Not really like Trent didn't forget how to block. I think more is just fatigue. Ayuk ain't forget how to run routes.
He said he saw Ricky Pearsall got shot. He said I have to come back.
Listen,
it's nuts.
Fuck it. Whatever gets him back into the room. Whatever gets him back into the room gets him back into the room.
It's crazy.
They playing with some motivation. They might whip your ass. Honestly,
They might.
They coming out to many men and shit.
The obvious is this is a top dog in the Niners that people are trying to project that they are not going to be the top.
It's literally them two.
It's really just me, I think.
The bad vibes have been around the Niners all off season long.
Yes.
Because of your favorite wide receiver being a weirdo.
He did
Trent
also
Williams
say he was a
also.
weirdo.
Yeah, he literally came out
Christian
and said,
McCaffrey had an injury.
The self-awareness.
Drew, it was funny because people have been defending him like he's not doing nothing wrong. Then he come out and said, I was bugging. Yeah, like it was me. That's why it's like
they matched the money that he wanted. He got the money he wanted. He should have always had that Amon route offer. That was what he should have got all the time.
I'm with you. He should have been got paid. I agree.
Yes.
He was moving a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, once the report came out that the deal was on the table since August 12th, I agree with you.
Yeah, he was.
But at leading up to the signing, we didn't get no reports that
You're right.
a deal has been on the table.
But he was on IG
We
Live.
got like every other report in the history of the NFL about Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, that shit was annoying.
Now we did. Listen, I do think the Jets will win convincingly. I do think that this is the game that, as long as everybody stays healthy, let's just make it through the game. Let's make it through the game, please. Let's make it through the game.
I respect that.
Aaron Rodgers, make it through the game.
That shit was traumatizing for them.
I think this is one of those games that the Jets put everybody on notice. I know that it's hard to believe in the Jets because we have bad luck last year, a lot of expectations, and then it all ends. We're demoralized after the first drive of the first game of the season. But last year, the Jets' offensive line was a huge liability. The second wide receiver spot was a huge liability. At least at this point in time, right now where we stand, that offensive line has Tyron Smith, one of the best left tackles in the league. It's going to be a good unit. I already see everybody projecting the offensive line as a top 10 unit. And Mike Williams, who's coming in healthy to this game, is a good wide receiver number 2 to have as long as he stays healthy. And in this game, these guys should be healthy. I think the Jets will win convincingly in our defense. This is the first time they're going to have help on the offensive side of the ball, and I think they're going to play a phenomenal game.
I'm still taking the Niners. I'm still going to take the Niners.
I'm assuming it's going to be split.
It's what to be expected, and honestly, I
Understand the optimism. I'd be optimistic as shit. Understanding that I almost took the Broncos over Seattle, and you guys are in a lot better spot than
Don't
us.
put us in that same category. You have the Jets winning the AFC East.
Fuck you. Fuck you. What I just said was, you guys are on a different level than us. If you use your ears, you fucking
Nah, because the way you talking like we picking the Jets just because we're fans. We're picking the
Against
Jets
the
because
Niners?
we're a better team than the
Niners, you're
Niners.
not a better
We're
team.
more
You're not.
talented.
Marginally, if
You think we're more talented than the Niners top to bottom roster construction?
You're deeper.
You don't think
definitely
You're
deeper.
deeper. You're not top end, no, but you're deeper for sure.
What position groups are the Niners better?
wide receiver.
Okay.
If the Jets beat the Niners,
Pretty
It's
this
just
is
top
not.
10,
This is
like,
not.
they're-
Packers, defensive line.
Linebackers is definitely close. Defensive
Fred
line's
Warner,
definitely. You
they
have
just-
Quincy and CJ.
They just have
They
the
also
best.
have
They have the
Drake
best.
Greenlaw being injured, but Drake Greenlaw and Fred Warner.
Yeah, but
If they're
Drake
healthy,
Greenlaw
they're
is-
better.
But Drake Greenlaw is Drake Greenlaw
and their
there?
defensive line's better than yours.
Not by that much.
With Bosa,
You asked me if they're better.
Our
it's
secondary is
close.
better.
Our secondary clears.
But their safeties are better than yours.
By far.
Yeah, our
bro,
corner's
I don't
clear.
care about
Corners
that.
are OD.
Our
secondary is better.
Our offensive line also
only
clears.
because DJ's better, because Charvarius is still one of the best. in
Our
the league.
secondary is just better.
And
than
also
theirs.
wide receiver, it's like they have a better wide receiver too.
Debo
They have a better wide
Samuel's
receiver one. You
still
know this.
Yeah, but it's
amazing
like
wide
Garrett and Ayuk
receiver.
are close.
Since when?
Offensive line's
They
better.
are close. Kittle
Kittle
clears.
Clears. And CMC, although
Brees is the second best running back. CMC's number one.
CMC's number one.
Listen, my whole point
Brees
is
can be
that
better than CMC this year.
And
Brock Purdy clears Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. That shit is a coin flip. in
Give me Aaron
2024
Rodgers.
right
Hell
now.
no. You're telling me Aaron Rodgers is healthy?
It's a coin flip.
Aaron Rodgers is
It's a
healthy.
coin
My
He's drunk.
God.
What did we talk about last year? Aaron Rodgers with Green Bay when he was dog shit.
It's borderline Purdy.
He's actually.
all I'm saying, my main point is that if the Broncos beat the Seahawks, that's really an upset.
Yeah, it is.
If the Jets beat the 49ers, that's not a real
I agree.
upset.
I agree.
Jets are like, I think 3-point underdogs.
I think this is even, in my opinion. I think both these teams are elite. I think for me, I think the Jets are deeper. I think if you go position to
starts.
position, you know what I'm saying? They got a few positions where they can go 2 or 3, 4 deep, especially on the defensive side. I think you can do that, but offensively, man, we're talking about this Niners offense. And then we add in Shanahan. It's not even close, in my opinion. I think this offense is just one of the most talented groups in the National Football
Robert
League.
saw the revenge game.
Yeah, cool. Shanahan. But I do think San Fran at home. He is? Shanahan?
Shanahan and
John Lynch.
on the hot
So like Shanahan
Brother,
has
I
like
would
that
give
Greg Popovich
Shanahan the
like
key
league.
to the city to be the Jets
yeah.
head coach.
Look, brother, I would fire Nick. If he could win a Super Bowl, I would still fire him.
A lot. See you later.
It's like, what? Listen, but I do think it's an even matchup. I think both these teams have to make a statement. I think this is week 1 for the Niners. People have been feeling like
NFL
other teams are cooking, like other teams are catching up to them. Detroit, Green Bay, they feel like these teams can take over the NFC. The Niners have kind of had a stranglehold on it for a minute, and they want to just show that they still have the top end talent. They're still the best team in the NFC. So they want to prove that week 1. And I know they played Baltimore last year, and Baltimore beat the brakes off them. And they want to come out and look at this Jets team and really, give them that edge. And for the Jets, they were hurt last year. They built this sort of a super team where they have so much talent and there's so much expectations. The only thing that can hurt the Jets is injuries, and that's the one thing you are scared of, and I understand that completely. We have a lot of guys that get hit with the injury bug, but first week against the Niners on the road, you can't make a better statement game than that. Like, you can't paint a better picture than that going into San Fran, convincingly beating them. It won't happen, but it's definitely a picture that you can paint.
Sounds like you're convincing yourself.
No. I'm very
You
confident in Brock
painted a
Purdy.
Da Vinci picture right now.
No. This is more of like paint and sip. I'm drunk and I just painted
No,
some
it sounds like a
bullshit. This
picture
ain't-
that could get painted
this ain't
on just
really-
on a piece of paper and just handed in. That's 100%
Man, I
right
can't
there.
wait when the Jets win and everybody's going to be so surprised, but we're not. No, we're not.
Shocker. The
John, are you
Jets
gonna be
fans,
surprised?
John, who do you
the
got, bro?
Jets fans aren't surprised they won the game.
Who do I got, Dehls?
Who do you got?
He's asking you.
I got San Francisco.
Why are you so mean today? You're always
No,
mean.
when we came in there, you know what he said to me? As a matter of fact, we were sitting here and I asked John, I said, yo, John, what are you doing? And what did he say?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, like literally just basically like randomly.
John
I
gets
was-
in those moods
Yeah,
though
and I was
sometimes
just
where it's
like,
like
you
he
know
feels
what?
like he's above you as a
Yeah, and I
man.
was just like, you know what? He started it today.
No.
It's like he's above you as a man.
It's definitely the R word.
Unbelievable.
Who you got, John?
I got San Francisco. Look, last year underestimated this Niners team week 1, and they obliterated my Steelers on the road.
Everybody
And
does.
Steelers suck.
Bro, he can't
Yo,
not bring him up.
Yo, Dehls, remind me, how many games did the Jets win last year?
7?
How many games did the Steelers win last year?
10? You lost in the first round? Got smoked?
Without our best player, it's one-score game.
Oh,
They
man.
didn't get smoked by the Bills.
Dehls, when's the
Shit
last
felt
time?
like
Loki,
ass
first half.
whooping.
Dehls, when's the last time your favorite football team won a playoff game?
2010.
Getting
I was 6 years old.
Let's see.
And who beat him? Who beat him to end their playoff run?
2010?
Yeah,
John, you guys have
you guys.
I know.
you guys
I
have
forgot
been
for a second.
you guys have been one of the best teams in the NFL for the last decade.
John, the
you guys
last
have had
time-
Big Ben, Mike Tomlin.
getting right.
Surely you've made multiple Super Bowls. You've made
My
multiple
God.
all AFC Championship
Yeah.
games. Certainly the Steelers.
We did make an AFC championship game.
Hey,
with those guys.
yeah. How'd that happen? How'd that go?
John, the last time the
Not well.
Steelers won a playoff game, you didn't have hair on your scrotum.
And that is the
That's
W.
a mic drop.
Mic drop.
He said, take this camera off.
Okay, now, John, stay on your split screen because we're going to quickly go through all the games and give our picks. And this is going to be what you guys are going to edit quickly on the TikToks. NFL Week 1 predictions. First game up, Ravens at Chiefs. Who y'all got?
I'm taking the underdog. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens, Lamar Jackson, third MVP is coming.
I am taking Kansas City.
Ain't no way Mahomes loses. I'm taking the Kansas
Laser.
City Chiefs. Packers versus the Eagles.
Is John going to make his pick?
Oh, my bad, John. Go.
I got Kansas City. Roquan Smith definitely
He
made a mistake what he said about Kansas City.
Packers versus Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I got Eagles.
I'm going with the underdog. I'm taking the pack.
Eagles are going to win. Jalen Hurts, first MVP.
There's too many question marks with the Eagles right now. There's more certainty with the Packers. I'm going with the Packers, and the Jordan Love MVP tour starts now. And, John, you don't got to worry about muting and unmuting your mic every time you talk. Just keep it unmuted.
That makes my life a lot easier. I think Green Bay is going to ride. I'm going to try it again. Green Bay is going to ride the wave they ended off of them last year, and they're going to set the tone in Brazil week 1.
What about right?
Panthers versus Saints.
Every part of me wants to pick the Panthers, but I just got to wait one more week. I'm taking the Saints.
Saints win this game at home.
Allegedly, the Saints have a top 10 offense and defense, so I will take them.
I got the Saints.
Cheap. I'm going Bryce Young. He's going to have a bounce back game week 1.
Vikings versus the Giants.
I would never pick against Jettis. Give me the
And
Vikings.
I would never pick against Danny fucking Dimes. Give me those New York football Giants.
Clip that. Giants defensive line can give Sam Darnold hell. Give him the Giants.
Give me Brian Flores giving the Giants offense hell. I got the
wrong
Vikings.
Brian.
And
Brian Dable,
Sam
the king of New
Darnold,
York.
Sam Darnold, last time he went into New York, he beat them when he was with the Jets.
2019.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
That was before
2024.
I'm going with a healthy, revamped Giants team, and they're, I said, going to force Sam Darnold into multiple turnovers.
Patriots at the Bengals.
I am taking the Bengals.
I'm going to take the Bengals.
Since he wins this game with Jake Browning.
Bengals, clean sweep here.
You're cooking.
Cincinnati.
Steelers at the Falcons.
I am going big upset here. This is my lock of the week. I am taking Pittsburgh.
Lock of the week's
Is
crazy.
That's
super
bold.
strong. I am taking the Steelers, but it's going to be a dogfight.
Give me the Falcons.
Struggle back and forth on this, but I think Atlanta makes a statement in their first game of the year. I got the Atlanta Falcons.
Pittsburgh's going to set the tone week 1 by smashing the Falcons on the ground
Wow.
and then forcing Kirk Cousins into a late game pick to win a close one.
Animal abuse?
How many yards from Jalen Warren, John?
Is he playing?
I
He
think
is.
he's going to be very limited, maybe like 7, 8, 9, 10 carries, not many, or touches, let alone carries. I go 30 yards, something calm.
Texans at Colts.
Picking CJ Stroud or a man every day of the week.
I'm taking the Texans pretty comfortably.
Texans, Anthony Richardson could win MVP this year, though.
I got the Texans.
I'm also going with Houston hard to go up against them.
Cardinals at the Bills.
Taking Josh Allen, man.
K1 masterclass, and it won't matter. I'm taking the Bills.
Bills win.
Arizona's defense is not good enough to stop Buffalo. I'm going with the Bills.
Buffalo pretty comfortably.
Titans at the Bears.
I am going with Caleb Williams and the new look Chicago Bears.
I'm taking the new Patrick Mahomes. Give me the Bears.
Give me Chicago.
This is my upset of the week. I think the Titans defense is going to be amazing. I think their secondary is going to be elite, and I think they're going to cause havoc for Caleb in his first game of his career. I got the Tennessee Titans.
No doubt Caleb's going to be tested, but I think this Bears offense is too talented to lose the game. Give me Chicago.
Jaguars at Dolphins.
Miami pours 40 on Jacksonville. Give me Miami.
Tua, I'm pouring honey on you. Go give me the Dolphins.
Wow.
Lock of the week, tattoo it on my forehead. Dolphins win big.
This
Tattooing
is the
crazy.
Trevor Lawrence statement game. He's going to come out into Miami. He's going to beat them.
Finn family, let's get it.
Broncos
winning this
at Seahawks.
Give me Seattle.
I sat on an all episode.
What?
Damn.
Resume it.
Yeah, you're a sick man, bro.
Just say Seattle's going to win.
This guy's a freak, man.
I tried to push through. I couldn't.
Freakazoid, man.
God wanted me to take Seattle, and for that, I'm taking the Seahawks.
I'm taking the Seahawks, too.
I'm going with the Seahawks, new look Seahawks. I love their vibe. I love Mike McDonald. They're going to make a statement against a weaker
You wanna
Broncos
kiss them.
team.
Give me the 12th man, comfortably.
Raiders at Chargers.
Going upset here. I hate the Chargers, so let's hope Raiders get that W.
I'll take the Bulls. Don't care who wins.
Take the Chargers.
First game of the hardball era, they're not going to lose. I got the Chargers.
I think it's going to take some time for Jim Harbaugh to really set the tone for the Chargers, and I just like what Antonio Pierce got going on. Give me Vegas.
Cowboys at Browns.
Taking Cleveland, man.
Give me those boys.
Got the Browns. It's going to be an ugly game for Dallas.
Dak contract year, needs to prove something. Give me Dakota Prescott.
The team that
Dakota
win-
Rain Prescott.
valid. The team that wins the turnover battle is going to win this game, and I think that's going to be Dallas. It's going to be a great game, though.
Commanders at Bucs.
I will be taking Tampa Bay in this one.
Bucks. Baker might have 300.
Todd Bowles against a rookie quarterback. Give me the Bucs.
Tampa Bay for sure.
Rams at Lions.
Taking Detroit in this one.
I love my Ramley, but the Lions are going to roar.
It's going to be the first of 13 wins for the Lions. They win.
This is the lock of the week. The Lions should mop the floor with the Rams, honestly.
It should be a high-scoring game, but I can't go up against Detroit, especially this early.
Jets at 49ers.
Give me Brock fucking Purdy and San Fran, man.
Couldn't have said better myself. Give me the Niners.
The other lock of the week. The Jets are going to smoke them.
Yeah, famous last words.
Ah, 0-5.
This Jets team is different. This year is different for the Jets. And if we beat the Niners, which we will week 1, we're starting out the season as the last remaining undefeated team of the season. Because look at our schedule after this game.
It is like,
we ain't going to lose.
like 5 games in a row.
We make a
Like,
statement
Yeah,
at the beginning of the season, first game.
They call him Brock Purdick. I just want you to know that.
No, big cock Brock.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
I've got the 49ers. End of the night.
And that's going to do it for our NFL Week 1 pick'em, our Week 1 predictions. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll be back Wednesday for the Week 2 predictions and also give you a recap of who won Week 1. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at Pick Us Out Pod, on Instagram
We'll be
and TikTok
back Friday
at
night.
Pick Us Out Podcast.
Live Friday.
We will be live Friday. We will be live Sunday as well after those games. Make sure you guys tune in. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.